some experience now. How great I am.
The black god, got big lips and black bras. In the projects, rich is whipping that black hard. My rhymes insane, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James. The black guard, got big lips and black bras. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. Prior to job, my lives with jewelers and girls. Just ask nods if I rule the world. Yo, my mental vision, setting up intuition. And you really don't have nothing if you intuition. I work with light just to give birth to life. I was born in all forms in the perfect night. The black god, got big lips and black bras. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. I am the ruler, just like the Lion of Judah. My third eye was built like an iron computer that's dark matter and deep thought making your heart shatter. I sleepwalk, talking with smart chatter, so I don't need you to ride or die with me. I got ancestors that vibe from the other side with me, and they beam up life after death. We got noses on our eyes, cause the light's a breath. My priceless flesh, the final copy. Look like Anunnaki. The black god, got big lips and black bras. In the projects, rich is whipping that black hard. Rhymes insane, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James. The black guard, got big lips and black bras. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. Prior to job, my lives with jewelers and girls. Just ask nods if I rule the world. Yo, the black guard, got big lips and black bras. In the projects, rich is whipping that black hard. My rhymes insane, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James, that nigga's a black guard. And you wonder why we spit lead. Just the whole reps, niggas got big heads like old Max. Way that I'm writing is more than vain. This is the age of enlightenment. We the Moors in Spain. Now that your honor, I pray to a black vagina. Even the Pope prayed to the black Madonna. In the sun, I shine as bright as I be. I'm the greatest of all time, like Muhammad Ali. And when I die, baptized in the fire, only fly at night, black skies are higher. Prior to job, my lives with jewelers and girls. Just ask nods if I rule the world, rubies and pearls. The black guard, got big lips and black bras. In the projects, rich is whipping that black hard. Rhymes insane, my skills is whipping that crack hard. Look at LeBron James. The black guard, got big lips and black bras. As soon as I leave Earth, it's back to the stars. Prior to job, my lives with jewelers and girls. Just ask nods if I rule the world. Yo, the black guard, from infinite to infinite stars, it's infinite light. My life's got an infinite charge. The instruments I implement to give strength to your heart. The temple within, the imprint, mimic the art. Into the dark, the dragon spark the fathom from a higher consciousness. I talk with atoms, I live in the land, and I live in the stars. Original man, I am the image of God. Call me Tut Ankh Amen. I cut diamonds, so as long as I live, nothing can stop shining. You gon' need to be in the bins to drive me crazy. Live on CNN, hearing cries from Haiti. You know them people down there trying to hide them babies. The black guards, surrounded in light, attract stars. The black guards, surrounded in light, attract stars. The black guards, surrounded in light, attract stars.
I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. All of you, I know you got it. I know you got it quick, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am. I told you, I'm the real champion.
Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck am I going? Who the hell could I be? All this time I've been lost. Vessel trapped in the sea. Chains holding my legs. I just want to be free. Fist picking my throat. Hell yeah, they know it. Heritage keep going. You can see it in my phenotypes and that damn Indian showing. This knowledge keeping me steady. 45 on my hip and my armor, man, stay ready. I hit the streets in my Chevy. Blunt, burning, smoke, smoking heavy. Man, here you go, I got plenty. Prayers up for what's in it. In the land I lost many, cause every nigga ain't feeling, and every man ain't milling. No D-bows but Stanley, no heroes for my family. Why the pigs killing us daily? Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck do you come from? Kidnapping our babies. 11 million abortions. Whole country is scorching. Natives stealing my portion. Bitch, give me my land. We ain't some of your daddies. You invader. Motherfucking invader. Invader. This is for the invader. Invader. Sitting home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader. This is for the invader. Invader, sitting home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey yeah, 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 hey yeah. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting home the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting home the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting home the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey yeah, 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 hey yeah. Hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah.
Open up the heavens, let the sunshine in. The Duke of Tears and Empress about to begin. Giving love to all the ancestors that's tuning in. Here comes the Duke of Tears with some more offering.
Going out to the All-Mac, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Muskogee. You know me, the whole me is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the All-Mac, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Muskogee. You know me, the whole me is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the whole.
Swooping through like an eagle, more like a stinging bee. Ancestors is left, right, in front of me. I'm all that vid dynasty, live inside me. Moon goddess since birth, she worth native, made for greatness. And wild, with natural style, rain dancer under the moon, knock through the pearly gates. Escape from Spain to Panama, we still ahead of y'all. Never racing, just slow pacing to the top of the dome. We stand tall, y'all. Never lazy to walk, clap, just clap back. For all the more talking, Shinnecock, never stop. A little petite, but never retreat. 10K is doggone tall, y'all. Chopper riding, we awake, very deep streaming. E.T. beaming, blunt top. Lightsaber walker, wolf talker, never stop.
To the All-Mac, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Muskogee. You know me, the whole me is OG. Coming to restore the crown of the All-Mac, Tonto, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Muskogee. You know me, the homie is OG, coming to restore the crown of the tomahawk chop. An entire city block, big buffalo people coming back to wreck shop. Hip hop, a modern pop, can't stop the rebirth for raw. Indigenous rock with the native chant, Christ war dance, at a glance. Anyone who glance at the Shechem war dance, Chief Seven Feather Owl, the Moorish Colin Powell, make all these 14th Amendment rappers throw in the towel. Square, compass, and trowel. These masons taking oaths, disrespecting ancestors, selling their souls to ghosts. I raise my glass, make a toast to Aboriginal hosts, traveling through the cosmos. That's most, meaning that's on top. My wounded knee bandaged up. Black Hawk, what's up? Geronimo skull. We taking it back from the tomb of the bones when we coming in the rooms and resume like Hallmark, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Muskogee. You know me, the homie is OG, coming to restore the crown of the Hallmark, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Muskogee. You know me, the homie is OG, coming to restore the crown of the OG.
Open up the heavens, let the sunshine in. The Jupiter is an empress, about to begin, giving love to all the ancestors.
Hey, peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses, peace to the Autochtons, peace to the Aborigines, peace to the Moors, peace to the Indians, North, South, Central, and the conjoining islands. I want to play one more important part of this song why I like playing this song, all right? Just listen, I'm going to play it back real quick. Hold up.
Washita, Blackfoot, Abenaki, Seminole, Muskogee. You know most, meaning that's on top. The Moorish Colin Powell, make all these 14th Amendment rappers throw in the towel. Square, compass, and trowel. These masons taking oaths, disrespecting ancestors, selling their souls to ghosts. I raise my glass, make a toast to Aboriginal hosts, traveling through the cosmos. That's most, meaning that's on top. My wounded knee bandaged up. Black Hawk, what's up? Geronimo skull. We taking it back from the tomb of the bones when we coming in the rooms and resume like wounded knee bandaged up. Black Hawk, what's up? Geronimo skull. We taking it back from the tomb of the bones when we coming in the rooms and resume like Hallmark, Montauk, Shinnecock, Chickasaw.
The important part right there was when he said, when we come back for our shit, we going back in the tombs and collect our shit that our ancestors, that belongs to our ancestors. So, like I said, man, a lot of times I play music that is pretty much in line with our current situation and where we at. Lately I've been playing a lot of music and my shit, a lot of my videos been getting blocked or whatever YouTube feel as though is appropriate for my videos not to be properly promoted or properly presented among the Aborigines and the Autochtons and the rest of us, right? All right, so we're gonna get into something, right? We're gonna do something. We're gonna deal with some politics today, right? But the politics is always in line to our current economic and also our current situation, right? Because our current situation is not in our hands, and that's what makes you a ward of the state when you have no control over your destiny. And your current situation is in the hands of elected officials and all this other political scams that's going on. And when I say political scams, because, you know, you got to understand something, right? Now, I ain't never vote. I never vote. I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for nobody. But I'm really considering voting this time. Because I'm looking at the mayhem and the havoc that our people is currently going through, and all of these tricks and all of these different these different antics that's being played so that we would stay being distracted by what they doing. And like I said, man, most of us don't know about Edward Bernays' book called Propaganda. Right, that's a very important book for if you really want to understand how the media controls people and brainwashes people. and have people believing what they want them to believe. And here you got YouTube, you got a smart device at the touch of your hand, so you pretty much have your own destiny at hand if you so-called choose to. If you so-called choose to do certain research, not just searching, because a lot of niggas search. We talking about researching now. We're not talking about just searching or some Google shit. We talking about researching the search that you made prior to you looking for a certain talking points, certain information that's being presented amongst our people. So with that being said, I want to read something real quick, right? And I know, look, I'm not no 5%er, right? I'm not part of the Nation of Islam, right? But this is something that always sticks with me when I think of our people and how we currently and always fall for the trickery that these people put out here. They'll have you voting for your own enemy. They'll have you picking certain political leaders that goes against your best interest, and people will just fall for it. Every year, every time this voting shit comes up, it's always, oh, we gotta vote for this person so this person will get in, and this person is a white supremacy and a devil. Or if he get in there, he's gonna be a dictator and X, Y, and Z. And I see Negroes falling for it all the time. All the time, Negroes currently fall for it. And even us in this whole Aboriginal, Indian, I mean, and sometimes I look at some of us like we ain't no better than blacks and Negroes. Because like even at this point in time, yeah, we making progress. People doing their genealogy. People also filing certain paperwork. And that's another thing. People talk against filing paperwork, but they filing paperwork, right? But anywho, right? People filing ineffective paperwork, right? Ineffective paperwork that ain't gonna help them politically or ain't gonna help their people advance. It's just a fucking circle chase. It's like a dog running in a circle or a snake biting his own tail. So a lot of us Aborigines or Indians, we fall for the bullshit. And I'm putting this out there, right? If you are American Aborigine, first of all, you're not a United States citizen, right? But you can participate in some of the United States or what the citizens participate in, right? Second of all, right, you should not be buying no land. And when I say you should not be buying land, I'm not saying that like of course you can buy land if you have family and you're trying to get that process done. But buying land as far as for Indian rights or you Aborigine rights, nah, I talk against that, because that's something that they supposed to be giving you, not giving you, but that's something that you supposed to be telling these elected officials who are public servants who are basically on American territory, and you are the Americans, right? Second of all, like I said, even with all this, there's supposed to be a redress of grievances, meaning some type of resources for the harms that was done to the American Aborigines and Indians is supposed to be given back to the people, right? From the 1900s, because I don't get caught all up in that 1800 and the 1700s and the 1600s, all the stories or the sad stories that they tell you that your people went through, right? I don't fall for that, right? But a lot of people do fall for it, right? So what I mean is, when they tell you these stories, oh, white people came here as slaves, man. And I emphatically constantly reiterate this into the minds of our people. They came here as slaves. Ain't no white people come here and take shit from you. When you see the damage that was done to our people, you start seeing that after 1492. Well, not 14. I'm sorry, 1665. Right. That's when you start seeing these plays take place. That's when you start seeing them take place. This is when you start seeing people run up on your land and start and all of the stories of, oh, black men were sleeping with white men. White women have always been sleeping with black men because they was always their masters. And this is what the information and evidence presents. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not trying to sit up here and just come up with an agenda, but this is what the evidence is leading to. This is the reason why they tell you all of the every race riot had to deal with a white woman, right? But at the same time, all of these race riots going on, the white men is trying to make it illegal for white women to sleep with black men. They making all of these laws currently while they saying that you looking at white women or it was illegal to look at it. That's all bullshit. And if you go back to my presentation that I did a couple months ago on white slaves, black masters, you will see the evidence. You will see the evidence. The evidence will compel you to start thinking for yourself. Because a lot of people come up, a lot of people be thinking and they be on the right track, but then they rely upon somebody to come up and give them an explanation for something that they haven't yet clearly figured out. And a lot of times the explanations don't be adding up to what the hell is going on. And people currently fall for it. So when I say the mentally dead, I'm gonna show you different scenarios of how we mentally dead, right? And how a lot of times Aboriginal Indians ain't no different than blacks or Negroes. Because at this point, it's okay, yeah, we know our genealogy, so I guess we know. All right, we know what tribe we are, so I guess we know. What good is that if you're not reaping the benefits and you're not holding these people feet to the fire on what the fuck they supposed to give you and what the fuck and the difference between you and them? Is there a difference? Is there a fucking difference between, okay, I'm an Indian. I then did my genealogy, found out how I've been lied to, found out that my people was actually from here or whatever, right? But yeah, I got to get up and go to work. These people are not recognizing me. These people are not giving me a redress of grievances. These people are not, I ain't say forcing, but you supposed to give your politicians, you supposed to give them directions on what to do for the people. You ain't supposed to be asking them for nothing. And if they don't get it done, then their ass gotta go. Period. If they don't live up to what the hell you voted them in or you asked them to do, then they gotta fucking go immediately. There ain't gonna be no keep running around, oh yeah, well we can't do this, or oh you can't do it. All right, well you don't need to be in office then. Or you don't need to be, we don't need to be supporting you. And we don't need to be backing you because this is non-negotiable. What belongs to the Aborigines and the Indians and the Autochtons of America is non-negotiable. This shit shouldn't be something that we have to negotiate upon. It should be a right that's given for a wrong that was done. Period. But people go back and forth over all this stupid ass shit. Oh, we this or we that, or we this or we that. Like the time for that is over with, man. If you still trying to figure that shit out, then are you lost in the game? If you still haven't figured out some of the truth and come to some of the understanding to what the hell went on, even with these terms, right? Even with these terms, niggas is still, and it's like, it's really, I'm not even arguing over it because I'm way ahead of a lot of some of these people, right? Only a lot of the new ones, a lot of the new people that came around is still arguing over this shit. Because they opened their mouth so fast to speak about something that they don't fucking know. Now they don't want to go against it because it's going to make them look stupid. Or at least holding some accountability, saying, well, look, I don't know everything, man. I could be right. I could be wrong. Just like I tell you, I got accountability when it comes to this Indian slavery and even some of these slave narratives. When I first came into the knowledge of this stuff, I hold myself accountable for being misled and for me misleading some of my people. But other people, people got egos around this motherfucker. Like they don't want to be held. Everybody want to be held to a higher extent. Like you somebody special. Like you can gravitate or levitate and shit, or you can fly, or you can fucking pick up a fucking ocean liner and shit. Like no, we all the same people. We all gonna die. Just like we living, we all gonna die. We all gonna have an expiration date. And whether or not we reincarnate into another third dimensional being, that's up to the Most High. I don't have no plans on reincarnating. So with that being said, let's get into it. I wanted to show y'all something. So look, and a lot of people just take this with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to convert nobody. I just want you to understand what's going on, right? So, with all the things we hear about Elijah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying, and we know that Elijah Muhammad stole a lot of the shit from Noble Drew Ali, or you know whatever happened with that. I don't want to get into that. I just want you to understand this, right? So it say, who is an 85er, right? It says the uncivilized people. Uncivilized people, right? Which a lot of our people are uncivilized. You look at a lot of these platforms, niggas still be yelling, niggas still be hollering with these same fucking clowns and these same ops and shit. That shit is really uncivilized, right? And I myself partaking in a lot of that foolery in the past. But going forward, I'm not partaking in that shit. It is what it is. I don't have to convince nobody who the fuck I am. And this shit is strictly for the people and strictly for our learning and our advancement. A lot of people are straight distractions. People come through, oh, you're not this, fuck you, nigga, get off the platform, go on your platform and teach that. I don't have to prove nothing to you, and I don't need to validate you. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, keep doing the same thing, and expecting different results, or expecting keep doing the same thing and expecting different results or the same results or whatever. Y'all understand, right? That's the definition of insanity. Either you're gonna put together a bill that's gonna be production. I mean, that's gonna be something that's gonna be productive, right? Or all the other stuff is the shit is over with. Like, man, it is what it is, right? So uncivilized people, poison animal eaters, right? Slave of a mental death and power. People who don't know who the true and living God or the origins of the world, which that can be kind of convoluted because we still trying to find out what is the origins of the world, right? I don't think nobody absolutely know that emphatically, right? But we know who the true and living God is. We know that there is an entity that governs this universe, right? That our spirits came from at some point in time, and you can call it whatever name you want. You can't control what name people call it because we don't know the absolute name of the absolute, right? It says, and they worship what they know not, and easy to be led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right. Right? Right? And hard to be led in the right. So let's just stay there with that, right? Let that marinate. Let's get into the bill, man. Peace to gods, peace to goddesses, man. So give me 1 second, because I'm looking for something in particular. Give me one second, real quick. Give me one. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me go back out. Let me see if I can find it. So just bear with me, real quick. I'm gonna probably be playing a couple videos today just to show and prove exactly what I'm talking about. And I just want people just to be open-minded about a lot of the stuff that's going on out here, man. This shit is crazy out here, man. We fall for anything, bro. We fall for almost anything, bro. And it's like, you know, and a lot of people who claim that they are leaders and all this, that, and the third, man, they're basically leading people. They leading people off the fucking cliff. That's why I do not claim to be no leader or no chief or no king or no higher figure. I'm a Tanchan just like the rest of the people who are Tanchaners to this land. And that's not to be take no shots at anybody. If you choose to be that, that's cool. But if you're gonna hold yourself to that high standard, then you need to be living to that standard and make sure that that standard is being distributed and being understood amongst the people who receiving it, right? So let's get into this right here, right? Because there's a bunch of different things I'm gonna be. So all right, so let's go with this right here. And fair use is always in play. Do I got my fair use panel? Let me see if I got my fair use panel. Hold up. All right, so hold up before we play this. Shout out to everybody. Share the build if you can. Please share the build if you can. All right, so they're going to fair use joint. All right, so let's play a little bit of this. I'm going to mute my mic. And somebody in the chat room, let me know if y'all can hear it. When I play it, just press 1 for me, press 2 if you don't hear it.
Bruh, when I tell you that I hate this man and I think that he may be the Antichrist, I genuinely believe it, okay? I genuinely believe Gavin Newsom may be the Antichrist because this is some wicked, diabolical stuff going on right now. So, y'all know I did a video on him vetoing the bill for Black people to reclaim stolen property, okay, eminent domain, that it was taken from Black people due to racism. Hey, I don't like you, you're Black, give me the property. He vetoed that bill, right? And y'all know that he had his hand in the bill dying on the floor when it came to the reparations bill that the California Legislative Black Caucus was supposed to push through, okay? That Stephen Bradford created and was supposed to put through. Both of those bills, one he killed, the other he vetoed. And they wanted to say that we were afraid that he was going to veto it, but yada, yada, yada. He already vetoed the other one. Y'all know what bill out of the reparations package? The reparations package. How you going to have a reparations package if only one of the bill actually does anything for reparations? Hell, 2 of the bills. And the 2 bills, you killed one and he vetoes the other. Make that make sense. Now, the bill that he did sign, this vile, wicked, evil individual, okay, this just monster, he signs a bill that has California apologizing for slavery.
Sorry. We're sorry. I'm deeply sorry.
Bro, if it wasn't so funny, bro, I shouldn't be laughing, but it is hysterical. It is absolutely hysterical. He vetoed.
So you guys want to look it up because I'm about to look it up right now. So it's Assembly Bill 3089 by Assembly member Reginald Jones Sawyer, Democrat of Los Angeles, also called for Plague to apologize to be installed at the state capitol. All right, excuse me. All right, so let's get into it.
It is absolutely hysterical. He vetoes all the bills that could help us and then gives us an apology. He gives us an apology bill. And you want to know what something? If you look at the picture, you know who's not there? Stephen Bradford, the person who actually authored the 2 bills that will actually help us for reparations. But you want to know who is? Reggie Jones Sawyer. This man you want to know who that man is? I'm sure some of y'all remember him. Because please, come November, please remember this man. All you Californians, okay, please remember this man. Reggie Jones Sawyer. Get this man out of the Black Caucus. We need to get all of them out of the Black Caucus, but especially him. This is the same man that when the bill for reparations died on the floor, he was the one smiling and going like a damn fool. That's that man. Mocking Black people who are actually being politically active, who are actually doing what they were supposed to do, their civic duties, okay, trying to get as far as people who are supposed to be helping us, right? The Black Caucus. Imagine the Black Caucus actually turns out to be the White Caucus. That's what it turns out to be. You have these Sambos, right? These Sambos who are put in these positions. And then you have him who's praising Gavin Newsom for signing the bill. He gets his little picture with Massa smiling, right next to Gavin Newsom. He's smiling. Of course, Gavin Newsom's smiling. He can't help but smile. That's what demon, bro. He has to let go of some of the evil spirits. I think he does that through showing his teeth.
So pretty much, right? So Black people, what we do is, right, one of the examples of how we fucking mentally dead is, right, we do identity politics. We vote people in because they look like us, thinking that they're not going to carry out the wishes of what we consider to be white supremacy, right? But they do. And the the so-called other Democrats, and remember, what's the origins of the Democrats? The origins of the Democrats are the KKK and the people who was running up in your towns while you was a republic, right? Running up in your towns trying to convince you to be a Democrat. And after 1965 or 1960, the 1960s, people fell for it, and people continuously term themselves as a Democrat. Now, like I said, if I'm gonna vote for something, it's gonna be for something that's gonna be. I don't care. I'm kind of in the middle on it. And like I said, I know that Republican Democrats are two wings on the same bird, right? But at the end of the day, there are some politicians that do implement some political strategies that can help our people. But the thing of the matter is, we too busy on YouTube, too busy arguing back and forth with Pan-Africans. We too busy arguing back and forth with Moors. We're too busy arguing back and forth on all of this stupid ass shit that ain't gonna get us nowhere. By now, the people who know we've been here know we've been here. And there's plenty of videos and plenty of people who continue to put that information out there. But at some point in time, people gonna have to get together and really assemble and really start implementing some of the things that is supposed to be not given to us, but some of the things that is owed to us. While we running around here having these stupid ass conversations all the time. And like I said, to each his own. The bills is the bills, right? But at the end of the day, if we ain't getting nowhere, if we 100 years from now, I'm not gonna be here, right? Unless I reincarnate back into another vessel, right? But if we go back and look at 100 years from now and see where did we get, what did we get? Because they're not gonna. If I promote something or if I put something, I don't want to hear about no stupid ass studies. Here's the facts. You know what you did, because they don't have no studies for nobody else. They ain't got no studies for these immigrants that's coming over here. They ain't got no studies for the LGBT, whatever community, right? They don't have no studies for nothing else, but every time it comes down to us, they got all these fucking studies and apology. What are you apologizing for if a wrong wasn't done? So if you know a wrong was done, then you don't need to study. Do you see how stupid some people are? They're apologizing and telling you that they showing accountability for something that was done, but at the same time, when it comes to payouts or when it comes out to people being separated and getting back their land and giving some type of redress of grievances, right? Oh, we got to do a study. Oh, we got to study. And this is because listen, we have a totally different story from that slave narrative. You may have one or two slave or people who were slaves as a result of them having a white mother that you may find in your genealogy. But I say at least in the 90 percentile, most of us don't have slaves in our family. Most of us don't have slaves in our family. So that's something for these people who think they from Africa. We know we're not from Africa. We know we're not Negro, black, or color, even though we use these terms to identify who our people are and who are they currently, right? Who are some of our people currently, and some of the ideologies and some of the social constructs that's placed upon them, right? We use them interchangeably, right? But at the end of the day, like, the studies is over with. These people is apologizing for something, and like I said, our people ain't go for that, because they apologized to the Native Americans for what our people went through. And our people didn't even go through what the Native Americans went through. The story they tell you what black people went through when they took their land and did all that, that's the real Aborigine story. The real, the Native American story is not ours. About how, the Pilgrims and Columbus and all that bullshit. That ain't our story. Because we were still thriving all the way up to the 1900s. So it's like, that's not our story. That's a story that has been created to give a certain small number of people a redress of grievances to make it seem like that situation has been handled. But the situation when it comes to us, of us being the Aborigines and the only Americans on this fucking soil, right, is never going to be handled until we actually hold these people feet to the fire and make them identify who the fuck we really are. Peace to the guys, man. Let me get back into some more of this shit. Yeah, I mean, look. Like I said, man, like, look, listen. We already know what the situation is. People who got common sense and discernment, right? Even when it comes to the term Moor, we can't sit here and ignore that. Yeah, it was people here called Moors. We can't. And like I said, see, people is ignoring that because they went on a campaign to say that we aren't them people. Now I understand the Moor Science Temple of America and how that is related, and you got some more say they Africans. I don't get caught up in none of that shit. I just get caught up in the terminology because the terminology is something that will set our people free too. But back on the terminology, even if we Indians or Aborigines, right, we're not being represented in the proper form or in the proper. We're not being we're not properly being represented when it comes to that. Because Indians not taxed, number one, right? Indians have their own land, number two. And when I say their own land don't have to be a reservation that's closed off with some fucking chicken wire or some fucking boards that they put up to separate you from the rest of the people who inhabit that area or that so-called state or that so-called city. You understand what I'm saying? We are a special people. We are a different people. We supposed to have a different status when it comes to all of this shit. And that status is you ain't gonna separate me, because half of these cities that these people that is inhabiting right now are the cities that we built and we've been in. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Virginia, New Jersey, Delaware, New York, right? Connecticut, Massachusetts. These are areas and places where our people been at. Not to mention with the South going all the way into Florida, and from Florida going all the way through the Mississippi regions, right? All the way through Texas and all the way through the Yucatan Peninsula, right? We're not talking, and even in California, right? And as far as up into Washington State, you had niggas up there, Aborigines, who had land and had anywhere you see these fucking buildings at with these domes on it and this ancient antique architecture, that's where our people was at. So I'm gonna get into some more of this, man. Peace to the gods.
This is what's happening, okay? I told you all this is why I really can't stand Larry Elder. Okay, I can't stand for a litany of things, but him actually helping Gavin Newsom when we tried so hard to recall him and get him out of here, bro, and him doing something like this, and then to have Reggie Jones Sawyer, bro, Lori Wilson, another one who's the chair of the Black Caucus.
My husband had no idea how we went from paying $156 a month to $29 a month for car.
Because all of those Sambos have got to go. This is what I'm talking about. Now, if we'd been any other group, as I showed you, when it came to the Jewish people, he didn't have a problem giving Jewish people back stolen property, right? He didn't have a problem. He was silent. He was probably sweating while he was signing. He was like, I'm signing as fast as I can. But when it comes to black people, you see how he vetoes bills and disrespects us. Why? Because we have Sambos who allowed this disrespect. We have these old heads in office who allowed this disrespect. And as I've told y'all before, this is a sign of extinction. This is what this looks like, is extinction. All right.
So like I said before, right, you got these black people who play this identity politics, right? You know, and I'm not trying to sound like you know how black people say, oh, all white people ain't bad. All white people ain't bad. Some of these white people really want to make right for the wrong that was done. But it's the black people who standing in the way of this shit happening. And like I said, a lot of times these niggas are agents, just like COINTELPRO. They put these black political leaders and tell them, okay, well, you can constantly, you can have your land, right? You're going to get paid a 6-figure salary, right? You're going to be held up on a high pedestal, right? But when all actuality, these fucking politicians are fucking public servants. They are not, they do not work for themselves. They work for the fucking people. But people are so fucking stupid to think that these people should be held on some high pedestal. No, nigga, this is why we get you in the office to pass this. And if you don't pass it, we're gonna get your ass out. Plain and simple. You ain't there to be wearing bow ties or be wearing fucking Brooks Brothers suits or Hugo Ball suits or any of these high price suits or whatever the fuck these people be wearing, right? Because these niggas is running around here eating best shrimp and lobsters, you know what I'm saying? While motherfucker can't go to the store and afford to buy a lobster. You go a lobster right now, probably shit, it's probably about $25 for one lobster, man. But these people is being heavily rewarded, and they saying, well, look, I'm getting my reparations. But then they being told by the other Democrats, right? Who mission statement started up with the nicer golden circle, right? And even with the nicer golden circle, right? We see that their mission was, right, with the Democrats, right? Their mission was to enslave the Caribbean, enslave Central and South America. And that's one of the reasons why they bringing these people here, so these people can be fucking slaves, because they see that we're not standing for the bullshit. And like I said, even when you go back into the 1965 Immigration Act, you ask yourself, well, why would you pass this? Why would you pass an Immigration Act at the same time that you're supposed to be doing right for people who you harm through civil rights, right? Right? Why would you pass an Immigration Act? Why? Oh, because that's so if you niggas keep boycotting and you keep you keep bucking at the system, we're gonna bring a new people in that's gonna be subservient to what the fuck we tell them, and we're gonna hold over their head. Well, listen, if you don't do what we say we're gonna do, we're going to deport you back to that place where you came from. We're gonna deport you, and they're gonna probably show them pictures of it. You want to go back there? Motherfucker like, nah, I don't want to go back there. Nah, I don't want to go back there. So, you want me to pretend like I'm a Black American and basically, use strategies that's not in their best interest? Because that's what a lot of people do, man. That's why you got to start. And like I said, man, I don't agree with everything Tariq Nasheed did or do or whatever. But one thing I do agree with him, it stands when it do come to that FBA shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're not, the FBA is probably the prerequisite before you understand that you are Aboriginal and you are Indian and your people been here. That's the thing that people look at. You start looking at FBA or people who've been, and like I said, no shout out to my brother. We have a lot of people in the past that have come to America, whether it's from the Caribbean, whether it's from Latin Caribbean islands or whatever, that have stand 10 toes down with Black Americans. And I can't say that didn't happen. We have a lot of people who stand 10 toes down with Black Americans on shit. But then we have a lot of people who come here and what they do is they will vote against reparations, and then you find out this person from Jamaica. You like, where your people from? Oh, my people, I was born here, because a lot of people like to say is, oh yeah, I was born here or whatever. But then they would say, well, yeah, but my people came from X, Y, and Z, right? Oh, so now I understand why you think the way you think in some cases. Now we know why you think the way you think. Because, of course, a lot of people, and I'm not trying to be funny, but from my understanding, like if we was to go to another country, right, where people was living or people did what so-called Black Americans did, or Aboriginal Americans or Indians or Black Indians or whatever you want to call them, right? If we was to go to another place where people there did what we did here, then of course it would be like some type of animosity or some type of envy, right? But it will only be envy to a certain small point, because in all actuality, you're benefiting from what these people did. If I was to go to any Caribbean island and people there made it substantial for us to live there in peace and for us to have certain resources in which we can come up, right? Then we will have to look at the people there as hold them to a high regard. But a lot of people come here, they forget that. They forget who the people who fought. And we didn't fight for the Immigration Act. Because Martin Luther King said immigration is going to be the biggest detrimental to Black Americans, right? He fought against immigration. He wasn't down with that immigration shit. He wasn't down with it. So even when how Black people say, well, we fought for other people coming, no, that's bullshit. We didn't fight for nobody to come here. We was too busy fighting for what the hell we needed. So why would we invite a person into a situation to where our people is not even being treated fairly? So that's all bullshit. How you hear a lot of Black people, we fought for Africans. No, the United States government used that as a play on your dumb ass to where they can utilize these people who look like you and have these people talk against you and cause all this and cause all of these problems within our own communities, right? I'm gonna play a little bit more of this and we're gonna get on to the next thing, man. Peace to guys, peace to guys. Just hit that like button, my dude. Hit that like button. At the minimum, at the minimum, hit the like button. It is free, unless you ain't got fingers.
Right? If we do not get active in this political arena, we don't vote these mofos out, we don't apply pressure to them, what does that relay to everyone else? Gavin Newsom just relayed to us, hey, these Negro'S, they're good ones, okay? They do as I say. They ain't gonna give me a hard time, right? They ain't gonna press me. They're the good ones, so we're gonna keep them in power, all right? That's what we're gonna do. It is up to us to get these mofos out by any means necessary, okay? It is up to us to get them out. We get them out, we get actually some people who are gonna fight for us, which is what they're supposed to do in the Black Caucus, all right? But I want you to understand this is really happening on a national level. It's really happening everywhere. Because you remember the Fearless Fund that they tried to attack for the Black women? Okay, remember the Fearless Fund that was supposed to be giving out loans to Black women to start, to invest in their businesses, and they got that shut down, the races? Guess what? Do you remember as far as the Latino Fund being shut down? Do you recall that? Because there is a Latino.
And look what it says. It says ventures closing on $100 million funds to back Latino founders of early stage setup, right? Startups, right? And I'm not, like I said, it's some Latinos that fight with us too. I'm not even trying to, but we comparing and contrasting to how they fuck us around, right? And look at this.
Supposed to be giving out loans to Black women to start, to invest in their businesses, and they got that shut down, the races. Guess what? Do you remember as far as the Latino Fund being shut down? Do you recall that? Because there is a Latino fund that they give money to Latino people to invest in their businesses. They didn't say anything about that. So when I say this is a concerted effort to attack and erase Black people, that's what that is. They are attempting to go for anything that they even believe possibly, ostensibly, may help Black people. We see this with affirmative action, okay? And we need to cause some good legal trouble. That's what needs to happen, all right? I saw more energy being directed at Eric Adams, and I know he's not the I said Chicago in the video. My bad. Chicago, New York. I understand. My bad. Okay. I saw more energy directed at Eric Adams than I've seen at any white politician. Than I've seen at any House member, any Senate member, anyone that would actually have an impact on them feeling the pressure of, hey, we're upsetting some people. We're upsetting our constituents, because that's what needs to happen. I know money talks, but there's a lot of ways if money talks, there's a lot of ways to silence that baby, okay? There's a lot of ways to hush that money up. We have got to become educated in this game, because if we don't, we're going to see this time and time again. Because if all these mofos of the Black Caucus, if not one of them gets yeeted, then we're a joke. We're a joke. That's what everyone's going to see. Gavin Newsom's going to see it. Other Republicans are going to see it. Other Democrats are going to see it. And the abuse is going to constantly continue, because they know that, hey, we can treat these Black people however we want, and the only thing they'll do is not vote. Okay, we'll just replace your vote, right? If you can steal money from someone and the only thing they'll do is just complain about you, right? If you can go to someone's house, rob them clean, and the only thing they'll do is, well, they're not going to invite you to their next birthday party. Wait, what? That's it? You're not going to call the cops on me? You're not going to press charges. You're not going to sue me. All you're going to do is just not talk to me in 4 years. You're just going to give me the silent treatment in 4 years? Okay, bet. Absolutely, all day. Imagine you go and rob a bank and that's what they do. Well, we're just not going to allow you to enter in 4 years. But after the 4 years,
Good job.
Now check this shit out right here. I'm gonna let y'all hear what the Republican that try to propose this bill, when he was talking to Tariq Nasheed, what he said about what the Black Caucus told him. Now listen to this real good. All right, hit the like button, man, everybody, so we can get this shared.
Yeah. So the two bills I think you're referring to by Senator Bradford would create the reparations task force or reparations bureau to oversee the process. And I think he had a bill to create a fund.
Yes.
These two bills passed the Senate and they went to the Assembly. They got to pass both the Senate and the Assembly in California to make it to the governor. Well, my understanding is that the word came down from the governor's office to not pass the bills. He did not want the bills on his desk. Again, I am not in the room with the Democrats. So I don't know. I'm just telling you what I heard happened.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Okay, so he didn't want the hot potato or the political football, whatever you want to call it. He didn't want it in his court. So he told them to not pass the bill. So.
And I want to say this to some people, right? Let's sit here and think about this, right? We can easily go to the census, and we can say, all right, if our people was Aborigine to North America, right? Why wasn't it all this illegal immigration going on then? Because we didn't want it going on. That's the reason why you don't see a lot of immigrants here prior to the fucking 1900s, right? Because we was running shit. And people could not just cross over and do what the fuck they wanted to do. And this is what I think a lot of Aborigines don't understand, right? Because I heard, shout out, man, I heard this nigga Cormeo, right, say that he would like no borders, right? It's easy for him to say it because that nigga's a mestizo. He's not one of us, even though he promotes like he's one of us and keep putting out all of our history, but you never see him talking about none of his history, right? You're not a spokesman for our fucking people. And it's a reason why we didn't see all of this immigration here prior to white people taking over. It's a reason. Whether they imitation lines or whatever you want to call them, right? Whether the borders are demarcation lines or borders set up to where people, it was a reason why motherfuckers just wasn't crossing over to North America and just coming here doing what the hell they wanted to do. The only reason you see white people here because they was here as slaves. They didn't come here like the stories they tell you, oh yeah, we just came over and just did what we wanted to do. No. We had the strongest empire that ever existed. And people just wasn't running over these fucking borders coming into our towns. Even California, right? I can pull up the census of California and show you in California when Mexicans started coming here. So why wasn't people just pouring into California like that prior to the European taking over? Because we held our shit thorough. We was 10 toes down with this shit. People just wasn't crossing the fucking border like that. Let me see. People wasn't crossing the fucking border like that. And like I said, we can go back through and show you the census and show you that people just wasn't coming here doing what the hell they wanted to do. They just wasn't coming here. Why do you think people just coming here now if they was always able to come here? Because if you wasn't part of these nations, even when you see the Great Law of Peace, it tells you the land that the people reside in is their so-called land, and they are the heirs of that land. So just anybody wasn't able to come here unless a nation adopted them there. But a nation wasn't going to adopt tens of thousands of people because that would have been detrimental to us and to our resources. Even when you see them mestizos and the mongoloids, right? Where the fuck is they at? They're in the desert. They're in the desert. We don't see them east of the Mississippi River. We see them in a desert. They're in a fucking desert, man. There wasn't no living nowhere around us like that. Nah, Empire Foundation. Some. And like I said, we can go to the census record and I can show you how many immigrants was in Alaska that they took a head count on. I can show you how many so-called Negro or Aborigines was there too. And like I said, none of this stuff is 100% absolute. But we know for a fact that immigrants wasn't just coming into North America like they are now. That's the reason why you don't see a lot of these people on these census charts. They don't even have a census. They don't even have an ethnicity for these people because these people wouldn't even come in like that. So let's get back into the bill, man.
So I showed up to work like normal. I knew that was one of the many bills we were debating. And I just want to be fully transparent with you because I think it's important that, we have an honest conversation. I have not been supportive of the bills to date. I mean, I think it's a conversation we should have because I don't know that I have a full understanding of what the reparations process would look like and all that stuff. But I just want to put that to the side for a minute. We're happy to have that conversation separately. But I want to just talk about what happened Saturday, which is I saw a bunch of frustrated Americans in the Capitol. They were in the Capitol. They were mad as hell. And they felt betrayed. And so I talked to a couple of them, like, what's going on? What's going on? They told me that they'd been working on this reparations bills. I think one of them is Camilla Moore. She was the attorney. She told me she was on the task force and that the Democrats were now ignoring them, refusing to put the bills up for a vote, wouldn't talk to them, were walking by them, mocking them. And I thought that was rude and disrespectful. So they asked me if I would put the bill up for a vote. And, I thought about it and I said, you know what, even if I don't agree with it, this is a deliberative body. We should have the conversation. We should have a debate, and we should take a vote so we know where everyone stands on the issue. And then we have an election in 2 months and then people know who stands for what, and you can vote accordingly and the whole thing. So I'm in favor of having the debate and discussing it and taking the vote. But the only way, there was a lot.
I'm going to say this too, right? Listen, just because you find something in the book don't mean it's factual, okay? Nobody came here and invaded the Americas. And the reason, and I'm giving you my theory on it because other people give people theories that's supported by other theories, right? And people stand under that, right? My theory is the reason why you see Asian people here because Asian people was part of the genetic experiments that took place. When they talk about these genetic spicing, and I know that may sound crazy, but because people haven't researched none of this stuff and they haven't never heard this before. Just do your research on these genetic experiments that took place in America. The Chinese came from a mixture of the Tamil, which is the Indian, right? Because the Indian would be the first one that came from the genetic spicing, right? The Indian, right? That's why the Indian got hair like an animal, right? And that's why they have all these genetic mutations, 8 legs, and all this other shit because they have epigenetic. They have genetics which is caused by epigenetics, where it skips over generation and then it would appear in this generation. That's the reason why you see some of them with 8 legs and all this, that, and a third. All species who have non-ether hair are not organic to this fucking plane or this this third dimensional density. That's how a lot of these people got here. Wasn't there nobody just coming here and invading the great Montezuma Empire? Are you crazy? From the halls of halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli? Are you crazy? You think people just was coming here doing what the fuck they wanted to do? I don't care who wrote the book and who telling you. The evidence doesn't lead to that. because we just wasn't letting people come here and do what the hell they wanted to do. So you think some people came here and invaded, and just because some white man wrote about this in a book to hide the fact that these people was genetically created by us, right? That was genetically, of course they're going to hide and come up with all these explanations and all of these different examples and all these excuses to why we see all of these different people on this land, because a lot of these people was created here and took it over to the places where they reside at right now. Okay.
A lot of games played. So I tried to bring it up just in regular order. They said I was out of order. We're not taking that bill up right now. So I said, okay, fine. I'll make a motion to take the bill up. And they said, well, you need a second. A second just means that one other member of the assembly has to join your motion, and then we would take it up for a vote, and not one person would agree to take it up with me. And then they pulled the bill. I was going to try it a third time, to be honest with you. And then they moved the bill to the inactive file, which really caught me off guard. I tried to challenge in the moment, but they didn't let me. The only way you can move a bill to the inactive file is if the author requests the bill to be moved into the.
And listen, people, let's sit here and ponder this shit, right? Whether he agreed with the bill or didn't agree with the bill, the people who's supposed to be in your best interest didn't even want to promote the bill or put the bill on the fucking floor. So whether or not he agreed with it or disagreed with it, by him putting it on the floor, it would at least been a conversation on it. That's the point that I think that we're missing. The people who are in your best interest, who are supposed to represent you and put that bill through, the reason they didn't put that bill through is because they was told not to. Because what would have happened if they would have put that bill through, right? Gavin Newsom would have had to veto the bill. And then that would have showed that Gavin Newsom didn't want the fucking bill to be even passed, period. Right? So then what he did was he made the Black Caucus look like the bad guys when they probably already had a conference or already had a conversation on what they wasn't going to do. That's the reason why they didn't pass it. And even the Black Caucus excuses, Gavin Newsom was going to veto the bill. Well, put it on the floor and let him veto it. So people now know that he wasn't, he wanted the research, and he wanted the research for slavery in America, right? They had a research team of people who did the research and got together all of the documents to prove why they should get reparations, right? So they gave it to the Black Caucus, but the Black Caucus was told not to. Now you're gonna hear this guy say that some of the Black Caucus said, "Yo, don't put that on the floor because we're gonna receive death threats." Now watch this. Listen to this.
An active file. It's under our rules. Come to find out, they did that without the senator's consent or permission. So they just did it because they didn't want me to be able to keep trying to bring the bill up. So that's the long story, short version of the several hours that transpired on Saturday night on what happened with the bills.
Wow, that's interesting. So none of the Democrats that were there who were supposed to be stumping for this bill, nobody seconded your motion at all.
No, in a 5-minute pause because they didn't know what to do, and I had a lot of members come up to me and just beg me to not do this. And injuring other members, they're getting their lives.
Stumping for this bill, nobody seconded your motion at all.
No, and in fact, when I stood up to make the request, there was like a 10-minute pause because they didn't know what to do. And I had a lot of members come up to me and just beg me to not do this. Please don't do this. Please. They said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives. And
so none of the Democrats that were there who were supposed to be stumping for this bill, nobody seconded your motion at all.
No, and in fact, when I stood up to make the request, there was like a 10-minute pause because they didn't know what to do. And I had a lot of members come up to me and just beg me to not do this. Please don't do this. Please. They said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives, and I'm going to be responsible for that. I just don't, please, they said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives, and I'm going to be, responsible for that. I just don't, please, they said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives, and I'm going to be, responsible for that. I just don't, I think we're all mature adults. Please, they said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives, and I'm going to be, responsible for that. I just don't, I think we're all mature adults as politics. If someone's making threats, then, we have law enforcement to deal with that. But I'm not going to chill my speech and what I'm going to do based on what some crazy person does out there. I mean, so I don't know. That stuff doesn't work with me, but they try to.
Now, somebody put in the comment section, threats from who? Threats from who you think? Who you think threatened them? If that is true, who you think threatened them? They don't want to give niggas nothing. They like I said, we're gonna show what they give immigrants, right? But they always telling you that they can't give you nothing, right? But who you think they was getting threats from? It wasn't from Republicans. It was probably from Gavin Newsom, allegedly, if it happened. It was probably from Gavin Newsom and the rest of the Democrats. So they pretty much threatened them not to put the fucking bill out there, right? Right? And then whether or not this guy agreed with it or disagreed with it, he was basically opening a can of worms to make these people be accountable for the fucking bill, whether he agreed or disagreed with it. Period. He wanted to show the inaccuracy with how these people do our own fucking people. They had this girl do a 2-year study on this, and then when it came time to propose it, he backed out of it, right? Then what we just heard from the other brother said how they didn't want to give people the land, and that was part of Bruce Beach and that complaint that was done out there from the Bruce family, right? Of how they didn't get their land back. And you heard the reason to why they didn't get their land back, right? He said they didn't get their land. Let me see something real quick. Let me go back. Well, just bear with me because it's
Bruh. Okay. I genuinely believe Gavin Newsom may be the Antichrist because this is some wicked, diabolical stuff going on right now. So, y'all know I did a video on him vetoing the bill for black people to reclaim stolen property, okay, eminent domain, that it was taken from black people due to racism. Hey, I don't like you, you're black, give me the property. He vetoed that. So, y'all know I did a video on him vetoing the bill for black people to reclaim stolen property, okay, eminent domain, that it was taken from black people due to racism. Hey, I don't like you, you're black, give me the property. He vetoed.
All right, so he did not want to just not give black people reparations. He didn't want to give them back their land, but then he want to come out with a fucking apology, right? And then you hear what the Republican guy that's talking to Tariq Nasheed, what he said, why the Black Caucus didn't want it to be proposed because they saying that they was getting threats on their lives and all this other chaotic shit that was going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. You understand? And remember, these are Democrats. And this is the same, California is where this bitch Kamala Harris was a senator, right? Who never earned none of these positions that she got, that slept around with Willie Brown to get in position, right? She never earned none of these positions. She didn't earn a Democratic a nominee because she didn't go against the other Democrats. Didn't even go, because normally what they would have is a debate among all of them, and then people will vote on who they like out of all of them, and then they would select the Democratic what's the name, the candidate, right? They didn't even go through that. Look at what they did to Biden. But then we go back and we see what Biden was talking about. Now check this out, right? I'm gonna show you something later on of like, you know, all the crimes that's being committed by illegal immigrants, right? Now, when Trump was saying that they was letting gang members and all these people here, people thought he was fucking racist. And black people, like I said, we some of the most mentally is dead people. We let these people run so many games on us to where we believe anything that they being saying. When Trump was telling you not to let these people, and them never, however you think white people got this land, that's a fight that we gonna have to take. That's something that we gonna have to take to them politically or through lawsuits. You know what I'm saying, or however it go, right? But we can't make excuses on other people coming here who doing the same thing. Other immigrants come here and they just as bad as white people, if not worse. If not worse. The shit that a lot of these gang members and all these people doing, that ain't no different than what the KKK did to people in the 1900s. What is the fucking difference? What's the difference? And then when it comes to your ass, well, I'm gonna get it to. I don't even want to talk on that. But just know that this, right? What this guy said, whether he agreed with the bill or he didn't agree with the bill, he at least had the courage to put the fucking bill on the floor, so that therefore it would have had to be a conversation. But they blocked the bill. They blocked the bill. So not only did they block the eminent domain laws that where they found whatever reason to take the land from the people, right? Then they blocked the bill for people to get cash reparations, right? Right, and then had your own people take the fall for it. So Gavin Newsom wouldn't look bad, so black people will vote for him in the next 3 or 4 years, or whenever the so-called election take place, right? Because black people stupid like that. They're gonna vote for him again. He gonna come up with something, promise somebody something, and black people gonna vote for him because they think that the Republicans are demons, or no, the Democrats are the demons. They're the demons. Because all they do is give out free benefits and give out benefits to anybody. But then when it comes to you, they don't have money for you. These people that spent over $40 billion in giving illegal immigrants money, but then they can't even give you reparations. They can't even, and even though we know, and I believe deep inside, a lot of these Europeans know that we wasn't ever slaves. That's the reason why they keep on they keep on like not putting the bill out there, because they know we wasn't slaves. You know what I'm saying? Or stalling out on the bill because they know deep down inside we wasn't slaves, and they really don't want to pay for us being slaves because they know that they ain't even slave us. But the conversation would be like, even the eminent domain law that was put out there with black people own land, and they took the land from them. That's something that should have been approved, and that's something that black people or Aborigines or Indians live in that land, because we know that land, that it wasn't given to them by white people. It was their land. We don't know how long they've been there. They could have been there for millenniums. But we know that the white man will write a story, and because niggas can read, niggas will read that story and believe, oh yeah, well in 1846, the white people gave black people land, and because you can read and because you believe this nonsense, then you will fall for the trickery. All right, one more time.
You know, we have law enforcement to deal with that, but I'm not going to chill. Please, you know, they said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives, and I'm going to be, you know, responsible for that. I just don't, you know, I think, please, you know, they said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives, and I'm going to be, you know, responsible. Please, you know, they said I was going to be endangering other members. They're getting threats on their lives, and I'm going to be, you know, responsible for that. I just don't, you know, I think we're all mature adults as politics. If someone's making threats, then, you know, we have law enforcement to deal with that. But I'm not going to chill my speech and what I'm going to do based on what some crazy person does out there. I mean, so I don't know. That stuff doesn't work with me, but they try to emotionally manipulate me first. And then when they saw that I was not going to back down, then they just kind of hunkered down and came up with this other strategy to get rid of the bills by moving them to the inactive file.
Yeah. Now, as you said, I've seen some of your tweets in the past, and you seem like you were basically against reparations to a certain degree. So people would ask, if you were in the past against reparations, why would you push to move the bill forward from a personal standpoint?
Well, from a personal standpoint, I would say there's two things. One is I think reparations, we can have specific conversations. I'm not against making investments in our community, in particular communities or disadvantaged communities or whatever that looks like. I think we're.
All right, well, that's that, right? But check this out. Let me show y'all something before we get into this. And don't never forget this, right? Look at this.
When this bill is law, we will have 100,000 police officers on the street, a 20% increase. It will be used to build prisons to keep 100,000 violent criminals off the street. We will have the means by which we can say punishment will be more certain.
The whippings of mass distraction have always been in the play. People follow their sports teams more than they follow the things that's going to affect them every day. So a lot of times the bills are passed and politicians go back and forth, and all of a sudden you turn around and there's a crime bill that not only affects your present, but really seriously affects your future.
Clinton passed a crime bill which allowed now 14-year-olds to be tried as adults, more prisons being built.
The impact of the crime bill is devastating and felt almost immediately. For example, the 3 strikes law, this idea that if you have...
And just remember this too. If you go back to, there was a guy who made a story about the Clinton something. I don't know if you can still find it on YouTube, but whatever. But it showed that in Arkansas, how they was flying drugs and drugs was being distributed throughout America, right? And some people allegedly connected Clinton and Bush directly to bringing the fucking drugs here, right? So then they go and then build more prisons, right? And then at the same time, all of this shit going on, they sitting up in here making the music executives make people rap about incriminating things to where some people will get caught up in that shit and be put in these private prisons. Also, the judges, they guarantee that the prisons will be at least 95% filled up. Okay? So now check this out. I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna connect this. I'm gonna show you something else.
Of 3 offenses that you're out of here, right? Like you go away. It increases your sentencing dramatically. That is embedded into the crime bill.
Violent crimes should be told. When you commit a 3rd violent crime, you will be put away and put away for good.
Nothing at all, boss. You're nothing at all.
Sentencing discrepancies when it comes to drugs.
Cocaine versus crack.
Crack, cocaine.
Cocaine versus crack cocaine.
The penalty for possession of 5 grams of crack cocaine, the drug used and sold by many young blacks, is 5 years in prison.
Now remember, they did an experiment in South America, the CIA, back in the 70s with crack cocaine. You think crack cocaine just popped up? Some nigga who don't know nothing about the drug just came up with the fucking, came up and had the, damn, I can't get it out, my bad, y'all. But had whatever was the process to make crack. No, somebody from the CIA showed people how to make this shit. They showed them how to make it. And all along, they getting money from selling you the drugs. They let you sell drugs for a certain period of time, but then when they feel as though you sold up drugs, they confiscate all your shit, right? Take your money, right? And then a new person step up to be a drug dealer, right? And that process goes on. They make the so-called country rich, right? Because all of the infrastructures of this country was built from drug money. It was built from fucking drug money. When you look at the fucking When you look on Wall Street, the number one resource that they got is drugs. The number two thing is people promise to come to work the next day. So when I say drugs, it could be illegal drugs as well as pharmaceutical drugs, right? But then the next thing on the on Wall Street list is people promise to go to work the next day. Okay. And then prisons is somewhere in between 1 through 5 somewhere, right? Because it's been so long since I seen it, right? But how it go, right? Now check this out, right? So we already got an understanding of this, right? So now let's listen to what Biden was saying, how he felt, right? Let's listen to him. Right now, hold up. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see something. Let me see if I can find his race and shit. The shit what he was saying. Now check this out. Let's see if we can find this. Let me see some. Hold on 1 second. I'm looking for the exact speech. Let's see what this is. Hold on. Let's see what this is real quick. Let me see something. Let's see what this is.
Has a tremendous advantage over a well-educated white in terms of the job market. If I was starting off today, I would love to be a well-educated black because I really believe they do have an actual advantage.
One of the issues that has become central in the 2020 campaign has been the state of race relations in America. And right now you have the two leading presidential candidates having to defend their own legacies.
The moment that we find ourselves in the wake of George Floyd's death is unlike what we have seen in decades.
The country. 90s, he decided that he really wanted to work with Republicans on a crime bill that both Republicans would support and President Bill Clinton would sign. There definitely was a crime wave at the time, but the main thing that he was working on was getting more police.
We have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
The bill ended up having 100,000 new police officers funded. When you have that many more police officers, that means you need more equipment. He funded that. And that means you need more jails to incarcerate more people. He funded that. There are certainly elements in there for drug treatment, for some social programs, but he wasn't nearly as interested in that, according to his own words on the Senate floor.
We must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malfactor in society. I don't care why someone is in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it, but they are in jail.
He had police unions in his office. This bill increased incarceration rates.
Led to a rise in incarceration across the country, and specifically targeting people of color for relatively low level and minor offenses.
As Donald Trump moved into potentially running for office in 2000, he kind of rocked back and forth between being a liberal and a conservative. This is a man who changed his party affiliation 7 times.
What do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
After Donald Trump's first couple of decades in the real estate development business, it's fair to say that he was something of a joke. Well, along came an opportunity to host a national television network show that
Now hold on. I'm gonna go back and forth with this, but I want you to hear something, right? And I'm gonna show you who Robert Byrd is, just in case if you guys haven't seen it, right? Just hold up real quick. I want to show y'all. All right, hold up. Hold that. Hold up 1 second, y'all. Hey, y'all, hit the like button though. It's free. It's free to hit the like button. They ain't gonna call unless you ain't got no fingers. Just hold up. Let me get this so we can show exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so look. All right, so we right here. So check it out.
Byrd was a parliamentary library, a keeper of the institution of the Senate, and he was the institution itself. But to me, and many people here today, like guys I see, Bill Bradley and Jim Sasser, who long left the Senate for greener pastures, and I hope better remuneration. We used to kid about that too, but for a lot of us, he was a friend, he was a mentor, and he was a guy. Was a parliamentary library. Robert C. Byrd, go to Robert C. Byrd, was a parliamentary.
Now he's saying Robert C. Byrd is a friend, right? What you seeing right here, right? Look, this is Robert Byrd right here. Hold up. Let me share this one. Can you guys see it? So Robert Byrd is the old guy that Biden holding his hand right here, right? This is Robert Byrd. Y'all can see this, right? Now look, let's look at Robert Byrd other picture. Look, this Robert Byrd other picture, right? And niggas actually voted for this nigga, thinking that Trump was more racist than this nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Now look, these are pictures, and he's speaking, talking about this is his friend. Let me see something. Where the fuck was he at? Oh, he's right here. Oh, I don't think. Hold up. Hold up. I didn't click on it. This is Robert Byrd other picture right here. You guys can see that. Look, that's his other picture. So this is a picture of him. This is the picture of him and Biden together. Look, and this is his other picture of him by himself. So he was a known KKK leader, right? Grand Wizard, right? Now these people are rubbing elbows with these people, right? But black people still voting for them and letting the media paint a picture of Trump being racist because of some Central Park 5, which we can get into that on another date, right? But check this out. Let's get back into the Western. I want to show y'all something else. All right, so hold up 1 second. Hold up 1 second. Well, check this out. Let's hear his actual speech. Let me see. Hold up. I ain't get to it yet. Just bear with me, y'all. Oh, matter of fact, you know what? I may need this too to go along with what I'm gonna put out there. Hold up. Let me duplicate this page. Just bear with me. All right, so let's hear Biden's actual crime bill speech and what he was saying. Look.
My friend Kamala is coming up on one of the last major fundraising deadlines.
fuck out of here.
The crime bill.
Now, violent crime peaked in 1991, and the drafters of the bill didn't know that in 1993 and 1994 when they were drafting and signing it. Urban areas, urban cities across the country were ravaged by crack cocaine, and Americans were afraid of crime. The 1994 crime bill was signed by President Bill Clinton. This was a pretty significant bill at the time, and President Clinton and Senator Biden at the time were right that the bill was significant.
The most significant federal effort to deal with violent crime in America that has ever been undertaken.
It was important for a Democrat at the time to be seen as taking a significant role in trying to reduce crime and violence in the United States. And at the time, the Congressional Black Caucus was part of the debate around the crime bill. And the Congressional Black Caucus didn't want every provision that was included in this bill. It became clear that the provisions in the 94 crime bill were going to be a political compromise. And so the history is much more complicated than is sometimes portrayed by the media. Now, what did the bill do? Just like a lot of political compromises, there was the good and there was the bad. For example, the bill eliminated 19 types of semi-automatic assault.
And just remember this, right? To this naive, the person who narrating it, who is naive, saying they didn't know it was going to be an urban community. They put the fucking drugs in our neighborhood. They knew exactly what the fuck the effects of it was. See, when they do stuff like this, they want us to be naive. Oh, they didn't know. And you see how she threw the black caucus in there, right? And then President Clinton, he blamed them, saying, oh, the black caucus was the ones that were saying they wanted the bill passed. No, nigga, y'all put drugs in our fucking community and we got the evidence, nigga. Don't sit here and lie. And then when the shit got out of hand, then y'all passed the fucking crime bill and then then y'all started to prey on us, and y'all building these fucking prisons in which you guys got stocks in the fucking prisons, man. You bringing the drugs in, putting the drugs in our community, then locking us up, then taking the money, right? Putting the money towards the government, repossessing people, so-called assets, putting that back into the government. And meanwhile, the people who losing out is the children of the people who being incarcerated. And niggas actually voted for this nigga. Didn't do no research on who this guy was. Didn't do no research on what was the outcome. And niggas said that, okay, oh, you're gonna vote for either racist Trump or you're gonna vote for Biden. Oh, remember Biden was Obama vice president, so he can't be racist. He was a president, he was a vice president to a black man. Shame on Obama for picking him. And niggas fell for that. But then it's a whole nother story with that. So when I talk about mentally dead, these are the antics of the mentally dead. The mentally dead can be persuaded. And just like I said, even with these books and some of the stuff I'm reading in the chat room comment of how people being persuaded about some of this fake ass history that's being promoted to us, right? People being persuaded to sway your views and sway your votes, right? I'm trying to find this nigga's speech. I want to hear the nigga's speech before I get into the next part of it. So just bear with me. Hold up. I want to find the fucking speech. I think that this is it right here. Let me see. This might be it right here. And he walk around like he ain't know.
Dentists hate when you do this, but they can't stop you.
He walk around like he don't know what happened. Oh, he go, brother. He narrated.
Contest last night. I mean, I thought the dunk contest came in February, but apparently the NBA dunk contest happened on September 12th. 2019. NBA season ain't even cracking right now, and this is what's happening. I mean, bro, everybody and their mama was banging on Joe Biden last night. Everybody and their mama was last night for y'all. Tonight for me as I'm recording this. But yeah,
without tens of thousands of them born out of wedlock, unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now, not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them. They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Man, Joe Biden is the Virginia Slims of this election. He done came a long way. That's a really old cigarette commercial reference. Most of y'all probably don't even know that. But seriously, like, come on, Joe.
But he signed on to in this bill. He also understands we need to keep people who are first-time offenders, who are nonviolent offenders, or who are potential first-time offenders who haven't gotten, I yield myself an additional 3 minutes, who in fact are people who are getting themselves into the crime stream for the first time, that they should be diverted from the system. So I hope this crime bill, when it passes, the Biden-Hatch crime bill, as it becomes law, God willing.
The Biden-Hatch crime bill is what they called it. The Biden-Hatch crime bill. Okay, so his name was on it. I thought he was just one of the 50-something senators who were trying to get this to pass, and some people put Clinton's name on it, but apparently it was Biden who jumped it off. If any of that is wrong, please correct me. All right, let's go.
I hope that we will have ended once and for all this notion that is a hangover from the 60s, that somehow Democrats are weak on crime and Democratic presidents are weak on crime and Republicans are tough on crime. The truth is, every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress, every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill, and has had a majority vote of the Democratic members of the United States Senate on the bill.
Is that true, guys? I need y'all to let me know that in the comments. Only y'all know y'all are really good at this right here. Like anytime I ask a question, the responses are almost as if you all worked in the Senate. And I appreciate that. Why? Because even when I go look it up myself, I'm reading the information and hearing the information from as someone that's just being introduced to it. But when you explain it to me, a lot of you explain it to me in a way.
Whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents, it doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. The Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the Democratic president of the United States of America, the Democratic attorney general, the Republican leader of this effort, Senator Hatch, the Republican senator from Texas. We all agree on that. Now, we can find some fringe folks in the study groups on the right wing and left wing libertarians and left wingers in my party who say, no, that's not what we should do. But politically, that consensus has been arrived at. I acknowledge there was not that consensus in the 60s. There is today. There's a second thing.
He kind of going in a little too much. Let me play this other clip real quick. This is your other girl that niggas wanted to vote for, right? Check this out.
The C-SPAN networks bring you long-form public affairs programming from the nation's capital and are a public service of your television provider. C-SPAN, created by cable.
The fourth challenge is to take back our streets from crime, gangs, and drugs. And we have actually been making progress on this count as a nation because of what local law enforcement officials are doing, because of what citizens and neighborhood patrols are doing. We're making some progress. Much of it is related to the initiative called community policing, because we have finally gotten more police officers on the street. That was one of the goals that the president had when he pushed the crime bill that was passed in 1994. He promised 100,000 police. We're moving in that direction, but we can see it already makes a difference, because if we have more police interacting with people, having them on the streets, we can prevent crimes. We can prevent petty crimes from turning into something worse. But we also have to have an organized effort against gangs. Just as in a previous generation, we had an organized effort against the mob. We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. And the president has asked the FBI to launch a very concerted effort against gangs everywhere. In addition,
now these people is fucking demons, right? These people are fucking demons, and people will sit here and make all the excuses on why would you rather vote for them than not to get Trump or whoever else the candidate into office, right? When these people have made careers of basically doubling down at the shit that they done said against so-called Aboriginal and Indian people, and the crimes that affect us, and the policies that affect us still today, right? No one ever wanted, even though people could say, well, why do people pick up drugs and all this, that, and the third? That's a whole nother conversation. The fact of the matter, this shit was put in your community. And it was put in your community, and once it was put in your community, these people knew what they was doing. It ain't end up in your community by no fucking accident. It was placed there. It was placed there purposely. And then after they placed it, then they start passing all of these bills to fill up their private prisons in which they got stocks on, and they making money from this shit. And these mentally dead so-called niggas who want to be Democrats or want to be part of any of these political parties, right? They don't even vet none of this shit. And even when they see this shit, they still will make an excuse. But I got something else for y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. Watch this shit right here. And remember Hillary Clinton and remember Biden. Remember what they were saying, right? But watch this.
Development on the border crisis. Wait until you hear this. The Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement confirms that more than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States. The letter here tells the tale. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. You believe this, Sandra?
Which means they are here. And this is just an unbelievable development. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Good to be with you, John. This is America Reports. Let's get right to Bill Malugin. He's got this news for us. He's live out of Douglas, Arizona right now, where Vice President Kamala Harris is set to visit later this afternoon. Bill, the details of this news. What do you
So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were
Hey, yo, my bad. I don't know what the fuck happened, yo. No picture, no sound. They just kicked me out. Let me run it back. I don't know how far we was in it, but they was giving you the statistics of how many crimes and murders and other crimes that these illegal immigrants cause, right? But the funny thing is, you don't hear none of these people calling these people super predators. In fact, they letting them into the country. They letting them into the country and acting like they don't have no understanding or explanation for the shit that's going on. But then they was so rough on crime when it comes to us. How you let people come in the country who don't have identification? When they pull you over, what's the first thing they do? They ask for identification, right? The first thing they ask you for is your ID. But then you letting people into the country that don't have no ID, right? That don't even have any records to where you can even vet them or find out who the fuck they are. Now, I don't know if I got kicked out because this is Fox, but I'm going to play it again. But check this shit out, right? Listen to this.
It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges. who are roaming the country, and another 4,250 non-citizens who have pending sexual assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket. So people's eyes might be glazing over right now with all the numbers we just threw at you. Just to put it in a nutshell right here, what we've learned from the acting ICE director via this letter to Congressman Tony Gonzalez is right now there are over 13,000 illegal aliens convicted of homicide who are roaming the United States right now. There are another 15,811 illegal aliens roaming the country right now who have been convicted of sexual assault. And there are even more who are facing charges for homicide and charges for sexual assault. So this just goes to show, guys, the non-detained docket has exploded under the Biden administration to over, I believe it's 7.3 million. They're anticipating.
So look, they was calling you super predators and locking you up for all this shit that they put in our community, but they bringing these people here and releasing them into our communities, right? And got non-detained documents on them. So what a lot of cases, a lot of them people, they've been convicted and been released after they can. How the fuck is you releasing people with no documentation that came here and committed murder? And this is part of the Biden administration. How the fuck is you not allowing this to go down? This the same nigga, Crime Bill Joe, that had all of this vitriol towards black people, right? Or towards it, like they like to say, they don't want to say black people directly, but indirectly, urban community basically equal black people, right? But you had all this vitriol for us and all the smoke for us, Hillary Clinton. You don't hear Hillary Clinton and them talking about none of this shit, right? You don't hear her talking about, all they keep talking about is Trump, 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 Trump. That's all they keep doing. And we're going to get into something, and we're going to get into a segment on how they set Trump up with all of these fucking charges when they found out he wanted to run for fucking president. He ain't had no charges prior to that. Y'all had 4 years to try to convict him of anything that he did. But as soon as he said he wanted to run for fucking president, now all of a sudden, all these democratic cities and states, right, started to rack up these charges on him. This shit is ironic. You understand what I'm saying? And this is another example of how black people are mentally dead, because black people will vote against their own fucking demise and come up with any excuse. If they hear somebody in the media saying it, then all they do is parrot and say what they say verbatim and believe exactly what these people say. And the main thing, well, why would they lie? Why would they say Trump had 34 convictions? You see, he ain't been locked up for none of them. And even that case in New York with the $400 million, the Supreme Court blocked that shit. They blocked it. They blocked that shit. He ain't got to pay it now. He ain't got to pay nothing. And you see, most people be thinking, well, he had to commit these crimes. No, they was putting their politicians and these lawyers, and they was coming up with charges that any of these people could be convicted of. Any president. They just had a hearing in the Senate where they were saying that, matter of fact, you know what, I'm gonna play a little bit. I'm gonna rock out probably for about another hour, maybe. But I'm gonna rock out probably for another hour. But check this shit out. We're gonna play some more of this shit. Now keep in mind, niggas voted for Biden. Biden passed the crime bill. Biden also got pictures with KKK, and he also saying that these people is his mentor. But stupid black people will still vote for him and say that, Trump was just talking about the Central Park 5. Everybody thought the Central Park 5 was guilty because they admitted guilt, whether the police made them. But I know one of the members of Central Park 5, his father came into there and told his son to admit that he was guilty. That was the main thing that sparked everything that people forget about. But then because Trump said that, but they're not talking about when Trump let the black lady stay at Trump Plaza free at rent. They're not talking about when he gave the so-called black man a loan and then told him when the guy came back to pay the loan back, he just ripped it up and told him we good. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the stuff that they won't tell you about. You understand what I'm saying? My main thing of this whole thing is this immigration, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm not okay if he don't give us reparations or whatever, but See, the thing is this, right? Just like when he went up there in Chicago with the black journalists, right? None of the black journalists offered him anything that would be beneficial. The first thing they did was go up there and argue with him. They ain't say, well, look, if you're elected president, what can you do for black Americans? They didn't even propose any policy for him to even agree on. They so busy worrying about arguing all this stupid shit. When that's the whole thing about when you picking these people. You supposed to go to these people with policy and see what policy that's going to be beneficial to your people that's going to be fucking passed. You ain't supposed to be voting or for because a motherfucker black or whatever. This is only shit that stupid black people, mentally dead black people get caught up in. But let's play some more of this shit. Peace to God.
It could hit 8 million by the end of the years. But looking at the numbers on this letter right here, there are currently over 600,000 non-citizens on ICE's non-detained docket who are either convicted, 600,000 non-citizens on this non-detained docket who are roaming the country right now. Of that, 425,000 have already been convicted of crimes. 222,000 are pending crimes. And again, the most serious crimes we just told you about, over 13,000 convicted of homicide, over 15,000 convicted of sexual assault. And honestly, that is not a surprise to hear given these horrible headlines we keep seeing popping up in multiple parts of the country almost every day now of a horrible sexual assault or a murder or another violent felony committed by an illegal alien who is often caught and released from custody. And the jaw dropper here too, guys, is all these numbers we just rattled off, they don't even account for the nearly 2 million gotaways who have crossed our border under the Biden administration. Those almost 2 million gotaways, they were never encountered by DHS. They snuck in, they were never caught by Border Patrol, they were never encountered by ICE. There's no record of them, so they have nothing to do with the numbers I just rattled off to you. These are just the numbers of people that ICE has already encountered, that Border Patrol has encountered, that DHS knows who they are. And we just saw those horrible stories in Nantucket the other day. ICE ran a week-long operation in Nantucket, and in a single operation in a 48-hour span, they arrested 2 Salvadoran illegal aliens who came into the country as gotaways and were arrested for child rape on Nantucket. They got a Brazilian guy who was arrested for sexually assaulting a Nantucket resident, and then a Guatemalan guy who was previously deported who was arrested for sexually assaulting a Nantucket resident. So we keep seeing all these headlines about migrant crime popping up in different cities all over the country. This right here is the first time we have ever seen specific numbers as to who and what ICE is tracking when it comes to convicted criminals who have crossed the border at some point and are either supposed to be deported or are going through their immigration proceedings, but are not in ICE custody right now and are roaming the country. So I'll ping it back to you guys, but some pretty jaw-dropping numbers that we are still going through as we speak right now.
So, Bill, this letter that was sent from the acting director of ICE to Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas, it responds to an inquiry that Gonzalez sent him back in March. I just talked to Gonzalez a moment ago, and he's going to be joining us at the top of our next hour. He's surprised that he ever heard back at all. But what's interesting is in this letter, the acting director says, quote, ICE recognizes that some jurisdictions are concerned that cooperating with federal immigration officials will erode trust with immigrant communities and make it harder for law enforcement to serve those populations. However, sanctuary policies can end up shielding dangerous criminals who often victimize those same communities. I mean, that would appear to be, from the acting director of ICE, a tacit acknowledgement here that sanctuary policies are endangering the public.
100%. And I talk to a lot of ICE contacts pretty much every single day, and that is their biggest frustration is all over the country, there are these jurisdictions who simply will not cooperate with them, no matter how heinous the crime is. I mean, the Boston ICE office is arresting child rapists and these horrific sexual assaulters. And these local jurisdictions, ICE will put a detainer on them and basically say, hey, please hold them in custody. We'll send our guys and we'll pick them up. That way they don't get back into the community. The locals ignore ICE, ignore their detainers, and just release them back onto the street.
So you guys heard that? So Crime Bill Joe he was so emphatical about telling about super predators and protect the families. But here it is, all of these people, and see, look, another thing what they keep saying is this, right? That bill that Kamala Harris tried to propose for the border, what's the name? The reason that they said that the Republicans and Trump denied it was because they were supposed to let more than 5,000 people in the country every fucking day before they shut the fucking border down. And these people, and then there was other clauses in it as well. These people never wanted to shut the border down. They never want. And how you gonna give people incentives for coming to a country illegally? Which we're gonna get into next, right? But remember, niggas voted for Joe Biden. And there's a nigga who thought that Biden was the least of the evil when it came to Trump. Somebody thought that. And it's a lot of Negro, oh well, I'm voting for the least of the two evils or whatever. Biden, and what people do to reference Biden is by saying he was Obama vice president. Shame on Obama. Shame on him. And that go to show you, because wouldn't no nigga in their right mind pick him to be his vice president, considering the shit he done did, the racist shit. Even Kamala Harris said that the nigga was racist with the bus thing situation that was going on. But these people still running with him, right? But they hate Trump so fucking much. And that's the thing. I'm not sitting up here saying, man, I ain't really got nothing against Trump, because my whole life growing up, Trump was the man. People wanted to be like him. All these black actors and entertainers got pictures with him. But as soon as he ran for politics, now all of a sudden people got a problem. And look, the main thing what Trump was saying when he was running was build that wall, right? And he was telling people, look at the numbers again. He was telling people that all these people are not good people. We need to vet these people and shut the wall now. And see what they was doing too, right? Was when he was in office, if they captured them, they would send them in Mexico, and Mexico would detain them, and they would await to see whether or not they can get refuge in America. What Kamala Harris and Biden administration did was if they get caught by the gate, the United States will bring them into the United States and then hold them and then release them until they get a court date. That's what the fuck they was doing. But so here's the numbers again. Now they said 425,431 people got criminal charges, right? And some of them is conviction of homicide, more than 15,000 been convicted of sexual assault, right? And then so like I thought, how you gonna let a person who already then trespassed and came somewhere illegally, right? And then the fact that they broke a crime and hurt one of your citizens and you still allow them to stay here, that's a fucking agenda, brother. That's agenda. And these Negro'S out here that keep talking about birth control and abortions and all this shit, man. You got people who gonna vote for this bitch because they talking about, oh, you stopping the women's rights. They're using reverse psychology against your dumb ass. They want you to go ahead and abort your child. Now, check this out. Just to go on that, right? We got something for that, right? And you already know. Now, look. Let me see something real quick. Hold on one second, y'all. Now check this out. Now look, origin white supremacy, right? So this is Morgan Sanger, which is Hillary Clinton mentor again, right? Right? So Morgan Sanger introduced her Negro Project, June 25th, 1939. The propaganda of the Negro Project was that birth control meant better health. So on this premise, the Birth Control Federation of America, later named Planned Parenthood, designed two Southern Negro projects. And how the fuck is they coming up with a project for the Negroes, right? Demonstration programs to show how medically supervised birth controls integrated into existing public health services could improve the general welfare of Negroes, and to indicate and to whatever it's saying the nationwide educational program, right? It said the Negro Project and succeed. The Negro Project to succeed. Sager emphasize. I'm sorry, the need to have influential Black leaders, especially ministers, educated in the goal of birth control movement. Black leadership certainly wanted to decrease maternal and infant mortality to improve the community overall health, right? They said the one only accepted her message because it seems to promise whatever. The social acceptance, however, aside from birth control, she offered no other medical or social solution to their advisory, considering the role of eugenics played in the early birth control movement and the notion of birth control as seemingly only a solution to the problem that plagued Blacks should have been much more closely scrutinized, right? So let me see something real quick. This is more shit on Sega. Let me see something. I had something else up here. We got William Gates, which is actually Bill Gates' father. He was a trustee in the organization and worked on the board of Planned Parenthood prior to his death in 1920, right? We got other shit, with vaccinations and shit. I don't need to get into all this though, but let me go into something else. Let me show y'all this real quick. So just bear with me. Hold up. I just had it. Now this is Henry Kane, and this is what he said about Herman Kane. Sorry about that. Hold up. I got some shit going on in the background, so I'm a little distracted, but I'm still trying to get the build out. Let's see. On this one, let's go on this one. So look.
When Margaret Sanger check my history, started Planned Parenthood, was to put these centers in primarily Black communities so they could help kill Black babies before they came into the world. You don't see that talked that much about. It's Planned Parenthood. No, it's planned genocide. And you can quote me on that.
And you see, look. Now here it is. You had a brother who was speaking up for you, right? And they try to make him look like he was an idiot. Herman Cain. They try to make him seem like he was an idiot. And he spoke up about it. But politicians that speak up like that, what happens is they get ostracized. And they get all this propaganda put on them so people have a different mind state of them, right? But look, that was probably one of the realest things I heard from a politician in a long time. In a long time, right? So let's go. Hold on. I got something else. So we already seen how you letting these immigrants in here, right? So look. All right, here you go, right here. Now check this out. I think I showed this. Let me see. No, hold up. Look at this shit. Damn, my bad, y'all. My bad. I didn't even click on the screen. My bad. I'm sorry about that. I'm slipping. Hold up. We're gonna play it again. Sorry about that, y'all. I thought it was being heard the whole goddamn time. But hold up. Let's play it again. Hold up. Sorry about that, y'all. I thought I clicked on it. I'm actually clicking on a single links instead of showing my whole screen. Sorry about that. Let me go back into what I was going to play. It was only a couple of minutes, so shit. All right, so I'm gonna play. Just press one in the chat room if you guys can hear it.
Because you ain't doing right by us. That's what time it is.
Chicagoans furious and sounding off on Mayor Johnson's plan to tack on another $70 million to migrant funding. Frustration building to the point that some voters are now working to get him out of office, as you heard that constituent there saying. Garrett Tenney live in Chicago with the story. Hi, Garrett.
Yeah, Dana, good morning to you. This migrant issue has become an Achilles heel for Mayor Brandon Johnson, so much so that there are now multiple efforts underway to vote out Democrats and the mayor. We saw that yesterday at the city council meeting where several groups of black voters showed up wearing red shirts with the words "No More Blue, Go Red," and "Turn Chicago Red." Many of these folks are lifelong Democrats who are now actively working to shake up deep blue Chicago, specifically because of how the mayor and the governor have handled the migrant crisis, doling out more than $1 billion so far for that. And here they are warning the mayor and city council about transferring another $70 million from the city's rainy day fund to take care of the migrants.
We need that money in my neighborhood. We need that on my block. So I'm asking y'all to use our tax money for our people. We need it. You vote for the money for these immigrants today, and we coming for them seats. You can believe that.
The police are fighting with them in the shelters that you guys are funding. You guys think it's a great idea, but yet your police officers are getting attacked. Your public's getting attacked.
Currently, state law does not allow voters to recall Chicago's mayor, but after seeing how Mayor Johnson's first year has gone with the migrants and crime, a new group wants to change that by getting a referendum on the ballot this November that would pave the way to voting Johnson out.
We're not taking care of Chicago citizens first, and that's what it's all about. The fact of the matter is that we've never had this opportunity to recall before, and it's very apparent based on the mayor's abilities right now, or lack of accountability, that this needs to be addressed.
Yeah, Mayor Johnson is dismissing this recall effort as a right-wing effort from folks living out in the suburbs. But Dan laughed at that, saying he's lived in Chicago for 33 years. He is an independent. And in the 24 hours since news came out about this effort, he said there's been an outpouring support from folks of all backgrounds looking to sign on.
All right, y'all heard that, right? So black people is pissed off, whether they black or Aborigines. Here go another sister right here. Let me play this right here. Listen to this one.
Sid's been thinking about
city council meeting as aldermen and residents keep clashing over how taxpayer money should be spent. So Immigration and Housing Joint Committee couldn't vote or even start the meeting because some members didn't show up. But people still got to speak during public comment, and Alderman Vitoing Lopez announced a November referendum where voters can decide if the city should tax millionaires 3% to help migrants.
We have 120,000 millionaires who live in the city of Chicago who can pay the fair share, and there are solutions so that we can do both. Care for new neighbors as well as the current neighbors. Are y'all?
Now look, you hear that, right? Now it's always one of them, right? Who always pro, and not all of them, because it's a lot of people who migrated here legally who's against that shit, right? But he's sitting up in here making an excuse how they should be taxing the millionaires to help pay for some fucking illegals or some people who shouldn't be here, right? So this is an example of it, right? I'm gonna play the rest of it. So to hear the girl talk. Hold up.
Lying to us. Because, see, we know that the budget stated that you guys spent $400 million on the migrants who are illegal immigrants last year. The city is currently in a $235 million deficit, which means that you guys overspent the budget to pay for people who have not paid any taxes.
Chicago.
So y'all hear that ridiculous shit right there? But they telling you that they can't give you reparations or do anything for you, right? But they could bring all these people in here, drop them off in your neighborhood, right? And get them free benefits. And we sit up here talking about some fucking Moors versus Indians, right? We sit up here talking about some stupidity shit, right? We sit up here going back and forth with Pan-Africans and shit. Not to say that, we ain't got time for that, but we really don't got time for it. You understand? Meanwhile, this is going on. This is the shit that's going on while people still talking about some fucking Moors and some Indians or Moors ain't Aborigines and all this ridiculous shit, right? But this is the shit that's really going on. You understand? Ain't nobody talking about this though. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's worried about none of this. And life is grand for everyone. No one has time to focus on none of these issues, right? But they so busy worrying about this foolish bullshit. So I mean, hey, I'ma always speak up. I don't give a fuck who rock with me, who don't rock with me. I don't care who make videos or whatever person say. I'm here for my motherfucking people first and foremost. I'm not here for these so-called lampoon or circus shows. I'm not here for that. I'm here for my fucking people. And people need to start focusing on what's real before they find themselves. We can't say 20 years from now somebody dropped the ball, because we living in these times and we're currently dropping the fucking ball. We're dropping the ball. Definitely. We definitely dropping the fucking ball. So let me see something. I got something else I want to play. Oh, I got something on Kamala Harris. So let's play something on that right here. Let's play this. Check this out. For those of y'all who want to vote for. Hold up.
I intend to fight for Black Lives Matters. I intend to fight.
If Black Lives matter to her, why didn't I matter?
I don't agree. And I don't agree with what she's done to other parents as well.
My message to all Americans, especially Black Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
I'm so proud of you right now, because you walked all the way down here and I wasn't expecting you to walk.
My daughter, Shayla, suffers from sickle cell anemia, a chronic, painful genetic disease.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick.
It's a very sharp stabbing pain, and it hurts a whole lot. Like from my chest all the way down, it hurts, including my side.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
When Kamala Harris was the California Attorney General, she had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
Wow. I spent a majority of my time here at the hospital.
Kamala's horrible policies hurt mothers like me and the Black community. My name is Sheree Peoples, and this is my story. I am a single mother. I've worked as a certified nursing assistant and a caregiver. My daughter Shayla was born in 2002. When she was born, she was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia. It affects all major organs in the body and also causes extreme pain.
Dang.
Her whole life, she has been on medications like
sad.
morphine and Dilaudid to help her control the pain. In addition, she had to undergo blood transfusions every 3 weeks. My lifestyle became taking care of her almost full time. It is pretty typical for kids with Shayla disability to miss a lot of school.
I just got out of school. I've done 3 full days this week. Oh, I'm so tired.
And for years, the teachers were aware of her condition and her absences were all excused.
Dang.
California schools get their state and federal funding based off of average daily attendance. Schools are paid about $30 per student per day.
In San Francisco, we threatened the parents of truants with prosecution.
I first heard of Kamala Harris when she got elected California Attorney General.
We are putting parents on notice. We are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
She wrote a report saying truancy was costing California schools $1.4 billion a year in funding.
Because of truancy, California public schools lose $1.4 billion a year in funding. I want money.
Sound like Mayor Tiffany.
Kamala then wrote a law making it criminal for parents if their kids miss school time. Kamala even wrote a book called Smart on Crime.
You can read an excerpt from the book that she just plugged shamelessly. It's called Smart on Crime.
Talking about arresting parents for truancy.
I sent a letter on my letterhead out to every parent in the public school system.
In 2012, like all California parents, I received a threatening letter from Kamala Harris saying we'll go to jail for a year if our kids even miss 10% of school days.
Wow.
It was like a crazy intimidation tactic.
I'm going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
I thought, wow, this woman doesn't have any empathy. Is it because she's not a mother? I also thought, how could she not understand it would disproportionately affect people of color, single Black mothers? But honestly, I didn't imagine it could affect me. Her teachers had her medical records from the Children's Hospital. I even had a 504 plan, which was an agreement between the school district and the parents to provide care for students with disabilities.
Oh, wow.
It was April 18th, 2013, in the morning. I'm in my pajamas. I had just fed my daughter, gave her medications, sent her off to school. Little did I know, there was a warrant out for my arrest.
Wow.
All of a sudden, the police is outside my house and they started banging on the door. I opened up my door and 2 officers entered my home. They told me I was under arrest for my child missing school. They said I was going to jail. I was shocked. I said, but my baby is sick. The school knows that. And they said, go talk to Kamala Harris. Place your hands behind your back.
My mom did nothing wrong. We did everything we were supposed to. I was always bringing doctor's notes, always calling the school to let them know that I was in the hospital.
Then they handcuff me. So they take me outside for what you call a perp walk. And oh my God, the TV news was there. The newspapers were there. You could swear I had killed somebody. It was degrading and humiliating. I was taken to the Criminal Justice Center. They took my mug shot. I was fingerprinted like a criminal, and I was terrified.
And it felt like I caused her so much pain because in reality, it is because of me, even though I know it's not directly my fault.
That's so sad.
Sorry.
The next day, the Orange County Register showed the pictures of my arrest. They even had a close-up picture of my hands in handcuffs to show here's a Black mother being arrested.
It's a truancy rate at over 2.5 times that of white students.
Everyone knew most truant kids were Black. I think Kamala Harris wanted me as an example to threaten other single Black mothers like This can happen to you if you don't get your kids in class. The police even put out a press release naming me and other Black single mothers like Toya Daniels who got arrested the same day. But my hell was just beginning. They gave me 2 charges: failure to supervise and encourage school attendance, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. They framed my daughter as a gang member and basically charged me with neglect. I spent the next 2 years in court fighting these charges. Kamala assigned her nastiest prosecutors to my case.
My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors.
Because I did nothing wrong. All the time I had to spend going to court, I was struggling to care for my Shayla. I lost my job and couldn't pay rent.
Wow.
And we got evicted.
Wow.
I became homeless. We had to move into a motel.
And I ended up being in the hospital a lot during her trial. And in that hospital stay was when I had my stroke.
I had a stroke about 4 or 5 days ago.
Man.
And right now I'm doing pretty good. My hand is doing.
And that's sad the little sister had to go through that. I definitely got empathy and sympathy for her and her mother. But check this out right here. Look, here go the evidence. Like even with what I'm about to show you next, is going to show you that these people are liable and that they can basically, they can pretty much do what they want to do. When they tell you that they can indict a ham sandwich, pretty much this is exactly what this lady is saying right here. Now listen to this right here. Listen to what she said.
The power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus. All because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power. You know, the power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge some. Is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus. All because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power. You know, the power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen,
Now check this out. I'm gonna play how they denied. I'm gonna show you something with this whole Fannie Willis case against Donald Trump, and how they was like that he tried to create election fraud, right? All of this shit. A lot of these cases, like I said earlier, I've been looking into just to be looking into, because a lot of people will know when we had these conversations on politics, they be like, oh, he was convicted of 34 crimes and he did this and that and the third. Now you just heard what Kamala Harris said. She could embarrass somebody with the swipe of a pen. Now listen to this. Listen to this right here. Now look.
Don't trade alone. Trade with me live using one simple strategy, and I'll help you get.
Can he do?
And definitely hit the like button, because all these videos and shit I'm playing, my video probably gonna get blocked. So definitely just take the notes, man, and just remember what was played and do your own independent research on this or whatever. But check this out. Check this out right here.
Do it. President Biden has to reach and vault over a high bar of expectation tonight. His State of the Union address will have to make some Democrats more comfortable with his ability to finish out 4 more years. One political scientist puts it this way: the challenge that Joe Biden has within his own party, his own base, are the biggest challenges this. The White House.
Or go to Beetlejuice in Colorado. Yes.
Goodness. The White House fired back after meeting between District Attorney Fani Willis and Vice President Kamala Harris. Merchants cited evidence that Willis visited the White House in February of 2023. That's just months before a grand jury in Georgia indicted President Trump in the state's election interference case. Fani Willis is, of course, prosecuting that case and facing the highest paid prosecutor on the case, and it just gets more tawdry from there. We've all watched the drama play out. The White House claims the vice president was hosting an event attended by hundreds of Black leaders and that she did not directly speak with Willis. Here's some of Merchant's very interesting testimony.
I did open records for the White House access, and we had records that Ms. Willis and the mayor of Atlanta were at meeting with the vice president. And he told me, they met at hotels. He would go to her place. There was a period of, I think it's 15 or 16 days where he did not have a contract. Which also happened to be one of the times they were out of town. But so they re-upped the contract. The cap was significantly higher.
So that was not the courtroom, because that ended about a week ago. This is inside the Georgia State Senate special committee investigating Willis's affair with Nathan Wade. We showed you parts of this live. I just want to get your reaction to that, Trey.
I just want people to understand, heroes, that this is not the way 99.9% of all prosecutors in this country conduct themselves on either side of the aisle. These are politicians masquerading as prosecutors, and it will be the undoing of our justice system. Now, whether or not a judge finds that this is sufficient to disqualify the prosecutors, I'm not sure that helps Trump. I'd rather have 2 people who don't know what they're doing prosecute me than go find 2 people who actually do. The larger point is weaponizing our justice system, whether it's the federal or the state level. It will be our undoing. What I'd like to know more about are these meetings between Fani Willis or Nathan Wade and the White House, because that level of political coordination should discuss people of all political ideations.
Well, look, Brent Tolman told me yesterday.
All right, so that was them kind of like doubling down, right? But hold up. The video where they got the actual documents is this one right here. Look, it's only 2 minutes long.
Good news, New Jersey.
Whether or not Ms. Willis or Mr. Wade were coordinating with the Biden White House in the course of this investigation and prosecution?
I mean, the discovery, they've got a lot of our discovery involves the January 6th. I mean, a lot of what we have in discovery is the same stuff that other places have. So they had to have gotten it from somewhere. And they also, they read a lot of the testimony. They played testimony in the special purpose grand jury. So, I don't know how they got all of that, but they got it somehow. And then, there's one of the other things I did was I did open records for the White House access, and we had records that Ms. Willis and the mayor of Atlanta were at meeting with the vice president.
Okay, and so this is the access history. How does that work? The White House keeps records of anybody that comes in and has any kind of official meeting for sure.
Yes, and my understanding is it's highly regulated who can access the White House, and so you have to apply in person or apply ahead of time, and then they give you a time when you make the appointment, and they give you a time when you're allowed to be in and when you have to be out by, and they track you. And I mean that makes sense. They don't want anybody lingering in the White House, but they keep that, and so they're called WAVE records, I believe is what they're called. And I'm not sure what that's an acronym for, but they're publicly available. They're open records.
And this record that's shown on the screen shows Fonnie Willis was a visitor with V. POTUS. I presume that's Vice President of the United States.
Yes, it was.
And what was the date of that back in, was that February sometime of 23?
February 28, 2023.
Is that before the indictment?
Yes.
Okay. Any further explanation of why Ms. Willis was meeting with the Vice President of the United States?
No, I know Dexter Bonds, and I believe that's the same one that Mr. I think it's Dickinson or Dixon, the mayor of Atlanta, was also there.
Okay. We're going to take a short break. We've been going at this.
Now, remember what she said, right?
Is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus, all because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power. The power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge some.
Let's check.
Encourage everyone out there to start voting.
Now check that out, right? Now look, let me show you something else, and I'm gonna get into the last video I'm gonna show you guys, and I'm out of here. Right, so look. Now this is a brother right here, look. My bad, y'all. Hold up. Let me stop it real quick. Hold on. This shit does it sometimes. My bad, y'all. Hold up. Just bear with me. All right, so here. So
prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those.
Me being sentenced, she wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, a celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like. The reactions I get when I tell people my story is, they say it's the worst nightmare. It's the closest thing to dying.
Hey, yo, press 1 for me if you guys got sound. If you guys can hear it. Press 2 if we ain't got no sound. Mic check, mic check, mic check. You. All right, we good? All right, okay. All right, so look.
Jamal, I'm going to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard, to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truth We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the kind of with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. That is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
So Jamal, where are we?
Right now we are in Sunnydale Projects, where I was born and raised at. Now, this isn't a place that you'll want to bring outsiders into, and a place that they don't want to go. This ain't a place that feels comfortable. It feels like you might get robbed, you might get shot.
From a very young age.
They already had me labeled because I'm in this community as a potential gang member, potential killer, potential drug dealer. You gotta wake up to the fact that, things are set up.
Now look how they can keep tabs on niggas, right? But then they brought people over here who they don't have no record or no history of what they're capable of doing, right? And they allow them to roam into, actually they put them into our neighborhoods and throughout the country. And we've seen the crimes that illegal migration, or what they call migrants, right? But it's all illegal. Like, because these people, like I said, they brought them across the border and then detained them and then released them without, these people ain't got no documentation. They ain't got nothing. But you see how they document us. The first thing the police, when they pull you over for, what does they ask? What does they ask for? Somebody in the chat room tell me. The first thing when police pull you over, what do they ask you for? ID, right? And look, look, real quick. Look, check this out. Check this out. Look at your man right here. Look. It said, I was wondering if you was going to go live. I don't have to defend nothing. Fuck Sister Betty. I don't care, Sister Betty. Sister Betty is nobody to me. She's somebody to you niggas. She's nobody to me. So my track record and her track record is two different things. I don't chase clout. I don't kiss nobody ass to be on that platform, and I don't buy views. So she can say what she wants to say. She don't know shit about Aboriginal history. She's still learning. But all these niggas gather up around her because they want clout too. So fuck Sister Betty. She could keep my name in her mouth until her fucking ass do whatever. I don't give a fuck. And I know she still be talking about me. And I don't care. She could keep my name in her mouth all she wants. Like, real talk, niggas should not be even fucking with her after that fucking shit she did back in fucking April. I don't fuck with people who do that. I keep it real. I'm here for the fucking people. And whether man or woman, I don't care. I done extended my respect enough to these people, and these people done crossed the line with me a little bit too much. So I don't give a fuck about that. Matter of fact, block Shy Son. Somebody block his ass. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to do it. If somebody don't block him, please block that nigga, because you ain't wanting over here, brother. Only thing you want to do is come over here and cause chaos and destruction, brother. Nobody cares about one no other. I got too much other important shit. We worrying about this shit right here. This is the shit that's going to be the cause of the end of our people. The fuck I'm worrying about what somebody on YouTube say about me. I'm not worrying about what nobody on no fucking YouTube say about me. This is what's important. What's important is the shit that our people is going through. All this extra shit, niggas talking about this same shit back and forth. This shit is not important to me no more. It's really not. I don't have to defend myself. I'm A1 from day one. People been know me. Like I said, I don't need to kiss no niggas' asses to come on my YouTube channel. I'm not seeking for motherfuckers to come on here so that I could be made a bigger person. I don't buy views, number one, and that's that. All of my people on here is organic. All of my subscribers, I put hard work in over the years for the people who come over here to come through and build with the God. I put hard work in. I ain't out here buying no subscribers. I ain't out here chasing no big YouTube YouTube names. I'm not over there kissing Brother Sanchez ass, kissing Dan Calloway. I don't gotta do none of that shit. None of it. So put some fucking respect on my name. Like I said, at the end of the fucking day, this is the most important thing. So people can keep talking about Moors and Indians. Meanwhile, this shit right here is going on. And meanwhile, our people are still falling for all of this shit. So I don't give a fuck. Like I said, look, man, and I know Sister Betty probably gonna hear this shit later on, but Sister Betty, keep my name out your mouth. Leave A1 the fuck alone. Or like I said, we got something special for you. And I've been putting it off because I haven't had the time. But don't let me hear my motherfucking name come out your fucking mouth. Period. If people can go back and tell her, I don't give a fuck. Because we'll make a real Summer Jam scream up here. A real Summer Jam scream. I don't care how many of my constituaries or my constituents fuck with her. I don't care. It's good for them. They can keep fucking with her. I don't need Sister Betty. I don't need her. I'm A1 from day one. And I'm not saying that to make it seem like I'm egotistical. But at the end of the day, I don't need her. I could come on here and do a live. I could do a bill once a fucking year and I'm still going to always be relevant. Because I brought people like her to the game. And like I said, see, this is the shit that you could tell with black people, because black people will come and be up under you and hold signs up for you and be like, yeah, A1. And then soon they got a disagreement with you. What they do? They go out there and start slandering your name. They go out there talking about some, oh, you ain't a big YouTube. Listen, I got content for days. I ain't got time to do this shit all the time. I'm not a fucking YouTuber. I'm on here for my people. That's it. That's it. I'm not on here to be kissing no ass. I'm not on here to be buying no fucking views. I'm on here strictly for the fucking people, and that's it. After that, I'm ghost. And you may not hear from me in another 5 or 6 months. You may hear from me next week. You may hear from me tomorrow. But who knows? So peace to the guys, peace to the guys. And like I said, look, I ain't trying to go at nobody neck. But at the end of the day, don't be speaking on me. Yes, I'm a Moor. I've been saying I'm a Moor. I'm not a Moor sign. I'm not a Moor from the Moor sign temple. I'm a Moor because I'm a dark skin complexion person in regards to the goddamn terminology. And if you don't understand that, because you kissing so many other YouTuber asses who you want to be part and pro-sell to, I can't help it. But you're not on my level when it comes to this. So keep my name out your mouth and leave me the fuck alone. Period. So let's get back into it.
Up against us.
There is a conspiracy.
Yes,
it happened to you.
Exactly.
It's proven in court.
Absolutely. Places like this have been developed for predominantly African American people to not be able to succeed beyond it.
Yeah. What did you know about Kamala Harris? What did you know about San Francisco having a black DA?
Nobody in the hood ever worried or focused on the DA position in general, but people did focus on it just a tad bit, that it was black, and feeling like, okay, this black lady in office, Kamala Harris, she was gonna understand where we come from, you know, and have more of a sympathetic way of prosecuting people that come from our communities who have been plagued with no opportunities. This is Hunter's Point, where these different projects and communities used to really war with each other.
Jamal, in July 2007, what's going on in your life at that point?
I had recently just came off of I Love New York. And also that's when my friend Sel Kuka got killed.
More than a year goes by and no one's been arrested in the case. You hadn't even been questioned.
Haven't even been questioned, no. The police was still, you know, trying to get a conviction by all means necessary. When I was arrested for it, the community knew I didn't do it. And it was here we go again. See, this is why we don't trust, you know, law enforcement, because it gets to a point where somebody who didn't do something goes to jail for it. I don't have no history of crime. What's up, boy? I have a history of being around in the community, but that doesn't mean that I'm a suspect. There to set her presence, almost take pride in getting a conviction. When I put in my appeal, the people that...
And you heard what he said, right? He said that when it came to her, he thought that she was black and she was going to understand like the plots of how we being exploited just as Aboriginal or what they call so-called black people, right? But kind of find out all of these people, the only thing they care about is their political seats and the power that they can hold. We just heard the lady said that she can convict you with the wave of a pen, embarrass you, and have you go through all of these court proceedings and then dismiss it when she feels like it. That's some evil shit. To just recognize that and to let that come out your mouth already shows people that you have done that plenty of times in the fucking past. This ain't no coincidence that you saying something like this. I'm gonna do this shit on a Candace Owens shit when as soon as I get a chance. But definitely, we know that these people do that. These people trunk up charges and all of this shit, how they exploit us, but then they bring other people here who is harming, killing people, raping, you know, doing all this shit. And yet, just like this idiot Shot Son just came up here and just try to cause division, which is we already divided in the Aboriginal community. And like I said, I don't care. I got my people who ride with me. That's it. Some of my people who ride with me ride with some of the people who I don't fuck with. That's cool. That's wonderful. But at the end of the day, I can hold my own self down. I hold my own self down at the end of the fucking day. I do a bill whenever the fuck I feel like doing a bill. Whenever. I'm not on YouTube looking for clout. I'm not on here chasing no clout. I'm not on here looking for friends. I'm on here to get the information to the people. Then guess what? I'm out. After I do that, I felt as though I did my due diligence and I did what I can do to help my people. I'm not out here to be lying to nobody. I'm not out here to be trying to get people to come on my channel. I can speak for myself when it comes to any of this shit. So always recognize that real recognize real, fake recognize fake. I don't buy no subscribers. I don't care what we got 130 people in the chat room. I'm cool with that. That's wonderful. You get a couple of thousand views, people who say that. Guess what? That's 1,000. That's 2,000 or 3,000 people who know this shit that I know. And now they're well equipped to deal with this shit when it comes to social or come with any of these standards that these people put in front of us. So that's what this shit is about. This shit ain't about trying to come up here and I got this person for views or I'm getting all this. Nah, it ain't even about that. And then you look at people's channel, people be having 800 people in the chat room, but then when they in their video, they got 600 fucking views. How do that happen? Please, somebody tell me, how did that happen? You got 1,000 people in your chat room, but then when you in your video, you got 600 fucking views. Because them is bots. So peace to the guys, man. Peace to goddesses, man. Y'all already know what time. I don't give a fuck who make a video. Go ahead and keep letting me rent space in your fucking brain, because it's going to continue. And like I said, whether you think you got thousands of people with are bots, I got way more people really rocking with me organically. And I've been saying who I am, and people recognize me as their brother and their fucking sisters at the end of the day. Only the misinformed and the people who have an agenda is going to really have beef out here. Ain't nobody that's going to be out here, especially when you help them get their name in the community. But just like a nigga, once a motherfucker help you and you feel as though you popular out here, then you want to start crossing people who you think you got beef with. That's some phony ass shit. I'm not no phony dude. And we've been doing this shit well too long for you guys to know. I curse. I may curse a person out, this, that, and the third. If I'm wrong, I can apologize to a person. But at the end of the day, I'm not out here chasing clout. I don't give a fuck who rock with me. I got my own fucking platform. I come on whenever I feel like coming on. And that's it. I'm not buying no subscribers. I'm not no fake chief. I'm not none of that. So, Shy Son, go sit on Not a Coincidence lap. Stop being a clown out here, going from Aboriginal platform, being a fucking what the fuck they call that? Being a tattleteller and shit, man. Grown men don't tattletell. Grown men don't be running around here saying, "Oh, this person said this and this person said that." When people recognize that, people recognize that as some feminine tendencies. Don't nobody recognize that. Men don't do stuff like that. Don't no man be out here saying, "Oh, this person over here talking good." So I supposed to respond to him? Like, man, listen, I got much better things to be fucking doing. I ain't got to respond to nobody. People already know how I feel about them. And at any given time, I can just say what I'm going to say. I ain't got to do a whole live chat on nobody and waste my time and take away from the people who really want to learn something, because this is about learning. This ain't about spending no 2 or 3 hours on trying to expose somebody or saying or keeping their name in their mouth or whatever. And nobody's doing that. Only people doing that is people who are sensitive and people who are chasing fucking clout. We out here trying to wake up our people. Meanwhile, while all of this nigga shit going on, this shit right here that I'm showing you on this live is going on behind our backs, and people ain't even paying attention to this because they're on YouTube looking for some type of Jerry Springer show. I'm not with the Jerry Springer shit. I'm not with none of this bullshit that go behind the scene amongst Aboriginals and Indians. I'm not with none of that shit. This is what I've been doing. Now I got kind of derailed from doing it because you get caught up in everybody else's agenda when it comes to this. But we back to this, man. When I come on, I mean business. This is business when I come on. I'm not just coming on YouTube just to talk about no fucking bullshit. We up here to really wake the people up, and we up here to really show the people, because we need to know this as people. This is the reason why we are losing. Look at the title. The mentally dead, Aboriginal, Indians, Black, and Negroes are losing, and we're losing because we are persuaded and we keep our attention on this petty ass fucking nonsense as opposed to the shit that's important. And when we wake up 20 years from now and our kids can't find jobs, or our kids ain't got resources for them, and the resources is being given to people who came here, immigrated, and people who can, you know what I'm saying? When we wake up and realize that shit, we ain't got nobody to blame but ourselves. We're the people to blame. So please, y'all, just stay away from the nonsense. If you ain't learning nothing, then there ain't no reason to be on this Jerry Springer. Oh, this person against that person. Oh, this nigga. Listen, don't nobody know me personally. Outside of phone calls, people calling me, outside of me talking to people, don't nobody know me personally. Don't nobody know my personal fucking business. So at the end of the day, you hear anything negative about me, it's because a person is trying to slander my name or just trying to make themselves look bigger. I'm not out here trying to make myself bigger. It is what it is with me. You see the symbol up there. When you see that symbol, that's the symbol for the Tongtons, for the Aborigines, Moors, Indians, Negroes, Blacks, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm trying to be the best that I can be when it comes to just waking our people up. Because that's where we're losing at. All of this Pan-African against, why the fuck would I keep entertaining a goddamn Pan-African who don't believe what we believe? Just so he could come up there and keep being in opposition and taking away from the bill, and our people is losing. Meanwhile, his people who's supposed to be slaves can't even get reparation and can't even get a bill passed on the floor, but he's so much worried about us being Aborigines and Indians. Like I said, this is some childish shit. The niggas who I fuck with is real niggas. Real niggas, if they knew that I was involving myself in this buffoonery and this clown shit, nigga probably cut me off. They're probably like, nah, man, I can't fuck with you, man. You be with this joke ass shit going on there trying, nah, nigga, I ain't on that for nothing. And if my woman or my kids or anybody who hold me in high respect knew that I was engaging in any of these frivolous, petty ass arguments, even amongst our own people, man, people probably laugh at you, man. Because this ain't the time or the place for that. When you get a platform, you need to be very responsible. Like what Spider-Man uncle told him, when come with great power, come with great responsibility. So always understand that, man. I'm gonna play one more video, right? I'm gonna show you what the wave of a pen can do and how it can influence people. I just want to show you something on Trump, and I'm out of here. All right, so let me just play this real quick. But y'all get the picture with this brother. This brother was falsely. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this so you can kind of understand, come to the conclusion of what happened with him or whatever. And then we can get into the other thing.
That's fighting against my appeal to keep the conviction is the Attorney General office. I learned it reading, their reply to my appeal, and you see Kamala Harris' name at the bottom. And now it's starting to feel a little personal.
When you win the $13.1 million, it's a massive settlement. Did you feel like that was enough?
There's not an amount that could get back those 7 years. That was 6.5 years that I spent in prison. But instead of me coming home feeling like I was a victim, I wanted to prove that I'm a survivor, and I will not let my story go unheard. I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for an apology, but some acknowledgement from her that she could have messed up will be, of course, that'd be huge. You could have made some mistakes. You could have missed some things. For me, it was a big miss. I had life in prison. I've met people in prison that was wrongfully convicted. I want my story to be out to provoke reform ultimately. Beyond that, I want to be able to be who I want to be. I'm an actor, I'm a musician, I'm a father. I'm more than this person that was framed. I'm more than this person that was wrongfully convicted.
Now look, as you heard, and there's thousands of other cases in which this woman is involved with of doing these what the fuck they call that? These aggressive prosecutions against so-called colored people or Aborigines or black people or Negroes or whatever you want to call it, whatever we call it these days, right? There's thousands of stories about this, right? And then we see how these people be fumbling. They fumble everything. They get fumbled. 20 million so-called migrants came into the community, and they drop them off in our community. They don't drop them off in these rich places. When they go, like when they went to what's the spot in Massachusetts? Oh, it's gonna come to me in a minute. I can't think of it right now. But they went to a spot in Massachusetts, right? Well, actually, where Obama lived at, right? And they got them people up out there instantly. And another reason why they can drop these people off in our community, because we don't own nothing. And I'm not saying everyone don't own nothing, because it's a lot of people who do got property and got houses, right? But we don't own nothing. We run around here with this petty ass bullshit, worrying about all this he and she and all this other stuff, as opposed to getting your resources up even for the next generation. And like I said, part of the resources is going to come someday, whenever people feel like putting their gloves on and fighting, and it's going to come in the form of redress of grievances. Some of these so-called you know, land, how they stole land from our people, and this other stuff. A lot of this stuff is going to start. The energies ain't got no choice but to change it. They got no choice but to change it. You know what I'm saying? Our people been down for a long time, man, and it's about time for the rise of the Aborigines, the rise of the Indians, the rise of the Negroes, or whatever you want to call us, right? It's about that time. We are overdue for things to turn in our favor, man. Because everybody else is benefiting from the fight we had, right? And then they ignoring us and then putting other people in our seats and giving them exactly what we deserve. So go figure that when somebody come up here and tell me that I should be wasting my time talking about some fucking YouTuber or whatever. Like, I don't, like, listen, you have to be on a real certain level for me to even acknowledge you like that. So like I said, people who join, who try to get their own little cliques and a little crews and try to go against people, listen, you can do whatever you want to do. I got my own people with me, and real people going to recognize real. And if you think that this is a game, or you think that this is some type of sitcom or some type of fucking social experiment in which we taking place and we crossing, oh, I started off when I only had 1,000 subscribers. I couldn't say nothing about A1 because A1 had all these subscribers. I don't care about none of that. And that's the thing. You know, people now, they got their little subscribership up and they want to say what the little shit they want to say. I don't give a fuck about this YouTube shit. I come up here to voice the words of the Aborigines and the Tonchans, and I'm out. And I'm out. I'm not wasting my time coming up here every day unless I really got something to say. Other than that, it's really not important. You understand what I'm saying? Damn, that shit nice as hell. Damn. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, ain't nobody up here to be talking about this every day. People got lives and stuff to live. You know how much stuff I got going on in the course of a day? For me to spend 3 hours up here talking about, it has to be something real important for me to come up here and want to talk about. We already got all these Aborigine channels and people talking about, whether I agree with it or disagree with it, but at least the people can get an understanding and do their own research with it. I don't have to be the only voice to where I'm the only person talking about this. It's enough people talking about it. Now, maybe people can't go into a bag like I can go into, or maybe they got their own way of saying it. But I'm not here to judge nobody and what they out here saying, as long as they out here helping the people. And the people who not helping the people, and the people who just want to be in charge and just want to act like they somebody, because obviously in life they never was nobody, or they never got no attention, and now you getting attention from YouTube and you feel like you important, man. Kudos to you. I'm gonna give you applause. I'm gonna give you applause if you feel as though you was never nobody in real life. Now all of a sudden, because you got some people subscribe to you to listen to your boring ass fucking conversations or whatever, and what you got to talk about, and make it seem like you're somebody of a higher figure to where people supposed to be bowing down to you, then that's great. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the, like I said, I'm here for the Tonchans. I'm here for the Aborigines. I'm here for that. I'm not here for no fucking Pan-Africans. And I'm not saying I may not never debate another Pan-African, but I'm not here for that. I'm here for the people. I'm here for the education. I'm here for the history, and that's where it ends at. And like I said, I got a bill coming up on black banks and black towns and just free blacks or free Aborigines, right? I got a whole bill coming up on that. I'll probably finish it up probably at the end of the week. I probably won't do the bill probably for about another 2 weeks. So sometime in the middle of October, I will be doing a bill. I was supposed to do a bill on all blacks didn't come from the South. The North is the South, or whatever, with my brother King of America. I got to actually get with him so we can do the bill, whatever, because I'm actually ready for that as well. You know, so like I said, man, if ain't nobody out here really putting in no work or something that you can learn from, unless this just entertainment and you just like to hear people point of view when they talk, then that's cool. And I would never talk against that. But when people come up here and talk on conversations and situations that they don't even know about. They don't even know about. They don't even know about. And even when you show them evidence, they're so ignorant. They're so ignorant to where they dismiss the evidence because they didn't spend most of their YouTube career on talking against this shit. So therefore they can't come out because their egos is too big. And they don't want to seem like they was wrong, because if you start thinking that these people giving you misinformation, then you want to start questioning everything else that they saying and doing. So it is what it is, man. Look, let me play this real quick. I'm gonna show you something on Trump, right? What they did, right? But I'm gonna play this and I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna probably run this for about 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and I'm out of here, man. So let's get into this right here real quick.
My friend say that your donation will go a long way. I really mean it.
And they keep showing you this immigrant motherfucker. And the funny thing is, black people, they don't even know who black people is. We think everybody when you're in North America, we're the majority of black people in North America. We've been here the longest. So we deserve, if there ever going to be a president, if you believe in a president or if you buy into that shit or whatever, there should be a foundational so-called black American, right? Or Aborigine, as we call it, right? But there should be a foundational black American president. We know we already done had them. We already done went through the presidents and all of that, right? But just in our lifetime, why every time we get a fucking president, it always have to be a fucking immigrant? It's never a regular black. All of these black people in politics and all that, all these foundational black people in politics. Why don't we never see one of them run for presidency and win? Why always gotta be somebody? Because these people are created. The Kamala Harrises and the Obamas and all these people that they create, they're giving them to you because they control oppositions. So go figure that, right? But check this out. Look, this is actual lawsuit against New York on that lawsuit that they filed on Trump, right? I'm gonna play a little bit of this, and I want you to listen to the wording of it.
Part of that lawfare strategy against Trump under a legal theory that his predecessor had previously sent back into the grave. Yes, out of concern. We have a complaint against you that's now going to the FEC. We hope you enjoy it. America First Legal brings this complaint before the FEC. We want an investigation right now. We want enforcement against Bragg and Biden because they violated the FEC. Now, Biden, the incumbent candidate in 2024, he looked to lawfare to destroy Trump because he's got no other policies. And he made the following statement regarding Trump's prospect in November of 2023. Probably fix that there for you guys. Got that covered for you. It says, if he does run, I'm making sure he, under the legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again. In coordination with Biden and his campaign, New York County District Attorney Bragg resurrected this so-called hush money case, the zombie case, as part of that lawfare strategy against Trump under a legal theory that his predecessor had previously sent back into the grave. Yes, out of concerns the felony charges would not hold up in court. Langelo comes back, joins, and the case is resurrected. Politico article back from April this year. Now, by pursuing this politically motivated prosecution against Trump, Bragg made an excessive contribution to Joe Biden, illegal contributions, and Biden accepted this, and they probably falsified business records. And so Biden violated U.S. code, that section, by failing to provide the required disclosures. Now they say, let's tell you a little bit more about us, AFL, America First Legal, awesome organization. They have a mission, which is to promote the rule of law, due process, equal protection, protect individual rights, uphold the Constitution. And in furtherance of its mission, they hold accountable our unethical, illegal, disgusting government officials. How do they do that? Well, they gather information and they file complaints. That's what they're doing here today. And we rely on on you, the FEC, to properly administer this act so you can hear our complaints and act appropriately. Now, let me tell you about the people here. We've got Alvin Bragg, we got Biden for president, we know who he is. But here are the facts of the case, FEC. To influence the 2024 election, Biden and his allies have pursued lawfare to physically remove Trump from the campaign trail, keep him bogged down in a freezing courtroom, drain his resources, millions of dollars, and it's harming his reputation. Now he's a convicted felon and potentially disqualifying from the ballot. Now, regarding Trump's prospects in 2024, 2022, probably, Biden stated, if he does run, I'm making sure under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, he does not become the next president again. What the heck does that mean? As New York County DA, Bragg contributed to this strategy by resurrecting this hush money zombie case. Now, there was a legal theory that his predecessor, Cy Vance, had previously sent back into the grave. The case concerned federal subject matter identical to what the feds investigated and declined to prosecute in 2018. And Bragg's prosecution also relied heavily on Michael Cohen, a felon convicted of lying to Congress with a demonstrable animus towards Trump, who also admitted that he stole from Trump in the middle of the trial and lied again to the federal judge when he took his plea deal. In February 2022, two prosecutors leading the case, we know them as Mark Pomerantz and Kerry Dunn, they resigned because Bragg, quote, had doubts about moving forward. They wrote about it in his book. Pomerantz threw a hissy fit, but even Pomerantz acknowledged that the charges would rely on untested legal theories. Did he put that in his book too? That was in an article. So by virtue of holding office, Bragg's most dangerous power is that he will pick people he thinks he should get, and they'll prosecute because they're biased. Now, New York professional rules say you're not supposed to do that. Prosecutors have professional conduct to follow. Everything needs to be supported by probable cause, but that's not what happened here. Bragg resurrected this dead case. Now he's relying on untested legal theories. And during his campaign, when he was even running for this office, he reminded voters frequently that in his former job, he sued Trump more than 100 times. Are you kidding me? I went after Trump all the time because he used to work for Tisch, or I think he was a lower level at the DA for Cy Vance. But Bragg would not have prosecuted Trump but for Trump's candidacy. They made their whole careers on Trump. Tisch and Bragg, their whole basis for being in their position of power is because of Trump. Bragg's commitment to getting Trump gained him the support of senior Biden political operatives. One day after Bragg announced his primary campaign against his predecessor, Bragg received a contribution from Sherrod Baines. And Sherrod Baines would later become the deputy assistant to Biden. Oh, so Biden deputy assistants are donating to Bragg. Isn't that fun? On June 29th, Bragg also got a contribution from Adam Hickey, who would later serve as a senior official in Biden's DOJ. Oh, so more Biden acolytes all funding Bragg. Now, his commitment to getting Trump also gained him the support of George Soros, which we talked about, and Color of Change. Now, on May, the PAC for Color of Change endorsed Bragg. Then Soros gave them $1 million, and about half that went over to Bragg. Between 2019 and 2021, Soros' son, Jonathan Soros, and his wife, Jennifer, made 5 separate contributions to Bragg's campaign. Yeah, so that's also a curious thing. Everyone looks up the Soros money, but you got to look at the Soros family. A lot of money comes from them, and nobody looks up them. In December, New York District Attorney 2022, Alvin Bragg, reportedly hired Colangelo to, quote, jumpstart the investigation of Trump because Colangelo has a history of taking on the Trump family business. Colangelo also sent in a bunch of money to Bragg 3 times. He served his senior positions in the DOJ and the New York AG's office, which was Tisch's office. So worked for Biden and Tisch, both who hate Trump. And at the Biden DOJ, he served as the politically appointed acting AG, the number 3. Despite this link, AG Merrick Garland has refused to give us his communications. And this is updated. Garland has now said, we've looked, we checked, we don't have any communications at all. Sorry, we don't have anything to give you, and stop accusing us of being monsters. On April 4th, 2023, Bragg then indicted Trump. And then the Biden victory.
So now, real quick, right? So now, can you guys listen? Can you guys hear on, like, you know, exactly what Kamala Harris was saying with the swipe of a pen? She can indict someone, right? She can make them use up their resources and embarrass them at the same time, right? And you see that Biden's name is being mentioned in this actual lawsuit, right? On actual, like, persuading people, and they call this, what the fuck they call this? Campaign influence or something, something, I forgot exactly what the word and what they was calling this or whatever, right? But as we see, like I said, man, regardless of what anything is, we ain't supposed to even be part of no citizenship or none of this shit, right? But at the end of the day, for the meantime, right, we can see that a lot of these policies that people doing, whether you black, whether you're Aborigine, whether you're Indian, whether you're Moor or whatever you are, is going to interfere with our future. Period. With our future. Period. You understand? So that's the whole purpose of the fucking video. The video ain't meant because I'm out here vote. I don't vote for nobody, but like I said, I'm really considering and being involved in this election. I don't really want to, but I can see that our people need to step up and not be fooled. You got people, like I said, dropping a lot of these migrants off, and then you got other people saying, "Oh yeah, well we should keep the borders open because these people are Americans." Or well, no, they're not. They're not our people, and it's a reason why our people kept them out from being around us like that. So like I said, man, don't be a fucking mentally dead or slave of a mental death, man. The reason we losing is because of lack of knowledge, and like I said, a lot of this other confusion and a lot of these other distractions that we got going on out here. Certain people not teaching the people what they supposed to know. And like I said, I'm not no authority, or I don't have none of these people are under my curriculum, or I don't have no power over anybody on what they do out here on these YouTube streets. But at the end of the fucking day, we supposed to be for our people. All of these petty ass disagreements and people trying to influence you and trying to pretty much bully. You ain't gonna bully A1. You're not gonna bully me. I don't give a fuck how many paid subscribers you got. I don't care how many of my so-called comrades fuck with you or who you talk with in the background. I don't give a fuck. And can't none of them influence me or persuade me to stop anything or to be on anybody's fucking side at the end of the fucking day. So like I said, man, stay away from a lot of these fake ass people. You know what I'm saying? Get y'all house and y'all family in order. You know what I'm saying? Stack up food if you need to, or whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? But definitely being on the know. Do not waste your time being out here listening to these frivolous conversations on shit that we've been talking about for fucking years, man. Please don't. You know what I'm saying? Please equip yourself. Please equip yourself with the knowledge. Please equip yourself with the resources. And please, man, stay sucker free, man. Stay sucker free at the end of the day. I know a lot of times people is bored and people try to find entertainment and they try to support people, but you'll know who's who. You'll know real, recognize real. And like I said, if you really out here and you organically doing whether I got 1 subscriber or 25,000 subscribers out here, I'm still doing my part to help my people and to free my people minds up. So with that being said, man, I'm out of here, man. Who eating pig? I don't eat no more. I ain't eat pig in years, nigga. I eat. If I eat pig, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna throw that shit right up, man. But however it go, man. Y'all, peace to gods, peace to goddesses, man. Peace to the Atantanists, man. The Atanchans, peace to the Aborigines, peace to the Moors, peace to the Indians, and the Negro'S and the blacks, because we can't leave our people out. We can't, regardless or not, we not black, Negro, or color. Them are people from our lineage who have been brainwashed and is mentally dead. And it's our job to play Neo and go back in the Matrix and try to awaken some of these people and snatch them up out the Matrix, man. So with that being said, man, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Like I said, I could be watching football, chilling, or whatever. Like I actually got what's the name, the NFL channel playing, but I'm not paying no attention to that because there's too much other distractions and other stuff that we really need to be. Really need to be very observant and very hands-on about. So with that being said, man, peace to the gods, peace to the goddesses, man. You know what I'm saying? I definitely love all my A1s from day ones and all the brothers and sisters, man. Love y'all. Y'all keep y'all head up. Until next time, peace.